Good evening. We are bringing you commentary of Russia against Denmark today from Euro 2020 Group B. I'm your alternative host, Russ Vernon, alongside your alternative commentator, Matt Isles, and you are listening to the Commentary Hub. We're also live across our brand new YouTube channel. The Commentary Hub is now up and running, the official channel for the Commentary Hub. We're also across JB Sports as well, my YouTube channel, and of course Mike Orman's YouTube channel. Also on the Twitter feed via our Periscope friends at Commentary Live want to catch us on there, but also on our Twitch channel as well. Make sure you give us a follow on there to know and be notified when we are live with some commentaries. We are focusing our main coverage here on Russia against Denmark, which is a very interesting game. Denmark at bottom, but yet could still go through depending on other results this evening. Russia currently sit in pole position in second. Belgium are currently top and already qualified to the next stage. It just matters where they will finish. Finland also have a chance of qualifying as well. I'll be focusing on Finland against Belgium. But our main focus is on the other game, Russia against Denmark, and we'll go to our match commentator, Matt Isles. And Matt, you're looking forward to this one, and what is the team news ahead of kick-off in this game, my friend?
Yes, good evening, everybody. Hello, Russ. And of course, Group B is so wide open, isn't it? Belgium on 6, Russia 3, Finland 3, Denmark on 0. But you think they're out of it, but they're not completely out of it because they've got every single chance of qualifying and progressing to the knockout stages as Finland and as Russia have tonight. In terms of the team news, Russia make one change to the side that played against Finland on Wednesday, and that sees Fyodor Kuryashov come in place of Dmitry Baranov, who drops to the bench. Baranov, of course, is on a yellow card, so maybe Stanislav Cherchesov, the Russia coach, has maybe thought if he gets a second yellow card, he'll potentially miss the first knockout game, of course, which is going to be so important for Russia, should they, of course, do the job tonight at the Telia Park and Stadium. For Denmark, despite losing against Belgium, they're unchanged ahead of this one. And, of course, just as these sides are about to kick off for us and everybody listening, I will go through the full starting lineups, including the 12 substitutes as well.
Yes, very interesting lineups there, Matt. In my game, Finland have pretty much kept the same start of lineup. Only one change for them, with Sparev coming back in to the side. Ajuri also into the siders, and is still a front man of Teemu Pukki and Gianpaolo. As for Belgium, there is a first start for Eden Hazard and Kevin De Bruyne in the side. Also, Nacer Chadli starts for the first time, as does Brighton's Leandro Trossard today as well. So just real quickly run you through the starting lineups for those. For Finland is Regia in goal, a back five of Latala, Turvio, Ajuri, O'Shaughnessy and Urinen, Lod, Sparev and Kamara in midfield. Paulo and Teemu Pukki lead the line. As for Belgium, it's Thibaut Courtois in goal, Boyata, Denayer, Vermaelen at the back, Trossard, De Bruyne, Witsel and Chadli in midfield. Doku and Eden Hazard are on the flanks, with Romelu Lukaku leading the line, and 12 amongst the subs for each team as well. Felix Breich is the referee. He is from Germany in my game today, with Marco Fritz, also from Germany, the VAR man, with Davide Massa from Italy, the fourth official. On VAR, we've got two Germans, Christian Dankert and Christian Gilterman, along with Kevin Blom of the Netherlands. Mark Bosch and Stefan Lupp, or Felix Breich's assistance with the flags this evening over at St. Petersburg Stadium in Russia this evening. And we'll just quickly go back to the Parken Stadium in Copenhagen, where Russia are taking on Denmark, which is our featured match. And we'll just look at Denmark. And good news over there regarding Christian Eriksen that he is now left hospital mat and after the operation which he was forced to have. And how big a game is it for Denmark? Because they'll probably want to go out and get a positive result for Christian Eriksen, considering he cannot be involved this evening.
Yeah, I think that's been their motivation, isn't it, to try and do it for him. I mean, obviously, it's been a very difficult tournament for them, more than anybody else. And I think everybody's got a real soft spot for them because of what they've been through. But every game now is just as important. They really electrified the crowd, really got them going early on against Belgium. It was just a shame they couldn't get the result. But tonight, with Eriksen okay and on the other side and, being all well and good and everything, it's a real chance for Denmark to really get the whole country that is behind them in a pretty much packed out Parken Stadium to just try and see them through against Russia. And more importantly, through to the knockout stages of the European Championships.
Yes, the teams are just making their way out here at the Parken Stadium in Copenhagen, where Matt Iles is your commentator for Russia against Denmark. So it's time for me to hand over to your match commentator. That is Matt Iles.
Thank you very much, Russ. Well, Group B is as hard to call as it gets for the remainder of the final group games. Belgium on 6 and through, but not guaranteed top spot. They can relax a little bit. Finland and Russia both on 3 with 1 win to their name from 2. Denmark have not got a point or 1 yet so far, but still find themselves in with a great chance of progressing as it gets decided tonight. And it just has that feeling of really going right to the wire and being a right nail biter for just under 2 hours. And before all the action gets underway, it is now time to duly hear the Russian and Danish national anthems. Well, it's an anthem that we've... Of course, there were even tears the last time for some of those players that anthem was played at the Telia Parken Stadium. And of course, with Christian Eriksen finally paying a visit to his players at the training camp this week from hospital. Of course, it has just lifted the team and, of course, an entire nation, which you could say the majority of the countries have fallen in love with as a second nation. Russia have made one change to the side that beat Finland in St. Petersburg on Wednesday in their 1-0 win to give them a big advantage to go into the third match with. It's Matvey Sofanov in goal. It's a back three of Igor Diveyev, Georgy Zikia and Fyodor Kudryashov is the back three. Kudryashov replaces Dmitry Baranov, who drops to the bench. They've gone with a 4. Mario Fernandez is at right wing back. Magomed Ozdoyev, Roman Zobnin and Dalia Kuzhayev are the midfielders, with Fernandez and Kuzhayev as the wing backs. Miranchuk and Golovin are the 2 attacking midfielders, with Artem Zhuba leading the line. He is a real important player for this Russian side. The subs: Andrei Shunin, Yuri Dyupin, Andrei Semenyov, Vyacheslav Karavayev, Roman Yevgeniev, Denis Sherishev, Dmitry Baranov, Rifat Zhamaletdinov, Alexei Ionov, Maxim Mukin, Alexander Sabovlev and Anton Zabolotny. For Denmark, they're unchanged. Kasper Schmeichel in goal, back three, Christensen, Simon Kjær and Yannick Vestergaard. They've gone with the 4 and pretty much going with a 4-3-3 formation as they did last time as well. Vas, Højbjerg, Delaney and Myler, with Braithwaite, Poulsen and Damsgaard as the 3 up front. The subs: Lørsel, Rono, Anderson, Larsen, Jorgensen, Skov, Christian Nørgaard of Brentford, as is his club teammate Jensen, Andreas Skovolsen, Kasper Dolgaard, Jonas Vind and Andreas Cornelius. The referee is Clément Terpan, refereeing for the second time in these European Championships. He's supported by fellow countrymen from France in Nicolas Dano and Cyril Gringore. And Sandro Scherer is on fourth official duty from Switzerland, with Francois Letexier on VAR, should, of course, any big decisions need any final reviewing or to be told for the ref to check. So, of course, there are so many permutations to get your head around. The only side really comfortable is Belgium, as it is Russia who get us underway. There's a designated home side, even though they are playing as the away side, you could say, given they are playing at the Telia Parken Stadium. They're in all red, which means, of course, Denmark have got to play in their changed all-white strip. And, of course, a nation that has really captured the hearts of every other competing in the European Championships. It's only really fitting, really, that you hope Denmark can not just potentially get third and wait to find out if they get through, but, of course, hope that they can get second place and be guaranteed a spot in the knockout stages, which they can do tonight, should, of course, Finland slip up. And, of course, they managed to win their game. But first and foremost, they have to win tonight. And, of course, Russ Vernon will be giving you updates throughout the game at Finland between Belgium in St. Petersburg. It's Denmark who've got the ball here with Simon Kjær, a man who's really emerged as a hero for his actions when Christian Eriksen was suffering with that cardiac arrest just 9 days ago. But Christensen on that right-hand side was crowded out well by the Russian attacking midfielders, and Russia have got to throw down the left-hand side with Fyodor Kudryashov to take. Man who played at the 2018 World Cup for his country. Chasing it down is the number 17, Alexander Golovin. Real talent with Monaco in France. Is Yannick Vestergaard of Southampton. Been put under pressure by the number 15, Alexei Miranchuk, whose goal clinched the win against Finland. And down the left-hand side of Denmark's defensive half, it's bounced off Miranchuk and out for a Denmark throw. Myler throws it to Højbjerg, who actually missed a penalty in the first game, but got the assist for Yusuf Poulsen's goal against Belgium. So he's had a pretty mixed bag playing at the Telia Parken as the Tottenham midfielder. Here is now Georgy Zikia of Spartak Moscow. Tries to give it to Fernandez, but it was a poor pass. And it's got out of play for a throw. Fernandez, of course, was struggling with a awkward landing going into this game after he sustained it against Finland. But, of course, he is okay to start the Brazilian-born right-back, a man who was a real important player for Stanislav Cherchesov's side. Searching ball out to the right by Kjær, looking to try and get the ball to Daniel Vass, who's got to be careful as he's on one yellow card. Another one would rule him out of the round of 16 should Denmark get there. There is a Denmark player on the ground as the referee Clement Terpan has had to stop the game. It's in the middle of the pitch inside Denmark's half there. I think it might have just been a slight foul by Artem Zhuber on Simon Kjær. Well, it was actually a sliding challenge by Vass, and as a result of it, he actually was the one who just sort of hit the toe of his captain Simon Kjær, and then Zhuber tried to jump over him but caught him. We are 3 minutes into this one. It is Russia 0, Denmark 0. And how's the early stages at the Krestovsky Stadium faring as Finland are taking on Belgium, Russ?
Yes, Belgium have started better. They've almost got Lukaku on the left-hand side. It's still goalless, by the way, Matt. We've played just coming up towards 3.5 minutes in the first half, and Belgium have been on the front foot, filling it together their own half. They've just got a bit of possession as you came to the end. Just this is second, gone inside the Belgium half for the first time since kick-off, but it's still goalless coming up towards 4 minutes played. Still Finland 0, Belgium 0.
So, of course, that doesn't change anything. It means Belgium stay on 7. It then means that Finland and Russia both have 4 points, and Denmark will be on that 1 point. But, of course, 1 goal in either of those games does change the complexion of the group and does make some movement of some sort. Thrown from the left by the Russian defender Kudryashov. Couldn't pick up Zhuber. Gets it back, though, from Roman Zobnin. And then closed down well. There was the number 23, Daler Kujayev, who was a central midfielder usually, but is filled in as a left wing back. Did it against Finland and continues to do so tonight as Kasper Schmeichel will take the goal kick for Denmark, wearing a light blue, dark blue, light blue combination from head to toe. The kick was looking to find Yusuf Poulsen, but it's cut out well by the Russian defence, who've proved to almost play like they were in the World Cup 3 years ago. Hard to play against than just doing enough. Here is Yannick Vestergaard. He's brought the ball out from centre-back. And now to Brathwaite. He's found a little pocket of space in the middle. Now to Joachim Mæhle. He's in the Russia box. Clips it to the back post. It's just too high for Poulsen. It is headed away by the Russian defence. It was Igor Diveyev who did it very, very well. And Denmark have the possession here. It's Thomas Delaney. A real key player for both club and country is Yannick Vestergaard. Short ball through the middle to Delaney. Now Kjær has it. Out now to Andreas Christensen. Both sides going with a back 3 tonight, incidentally. Delaney now has it. Turns onto his left foot. Looks to go out to the left to get Mæhle on the go. Mæhle gets it under control. Or he looked like he did, but it was just not to how he would have liked it. And has touched out a play for a goal kick. But the wing-backs tonight, you'd have to say, are going to be crucial for both sides. Denmark, of course, is their real creative outlook in Daniel Vass and Joachim Mæhle. And for Russia, Fernandez and Daler Kujayev do put the crosses in for Artem Zhuber, who's so important for this Russia side, as Matvey Safonov of Krasnodar is going to take the kick. Just his 3rd cap tonight for Russia. Of course, he replaced Andrei Shunin after the opening game defeat to Belgium and kept a clean sheet. His debut only took place this month as he's had to come out and just knee that away as Diveyev was letting his goalkeeper just do the work there as he actually slipped after he kneed the ball out of play for a throw on his left-hand side. It's going to be Vass to take it as Denmark are pushing up high early on in the opening sort of 6.5 minutes that we've had here. It's Russia 0, Denmark 0. And Matvey Safonov and Diveyev were just a little bit of miscommunication there. Ball in from the right by Vass. Not a bad delivery. Damsgaard was attacking it. It is headed away well by the Russian defence. And now is Pierre-Emil Højbjerg. Pokes it through to Damsgaard. He goes back now to Yannick Vestergaard. Damsgaard did impress in that defeat to Belgium. And Denmark actually did as well. They were quite unlucky to lose that game, in fact, with Kasper Hjulmand's side. But, of course, they've had nothing to show for their 2 narrow defeats. You could say one of those defeats really was sort of insignificant and irrelevant given what had happened to Christian Eriksen against Finland in their opening game. Russia now have the ball in the middle. given away by Magomed Ozdoyev. Here is now Myler, and the pass has bounced off the arm of Magomed Ozdoyev, and Clement Terpan is in the right place to give it a Denmark free kick just on the left-hand side of the pitch, which they take short. Vestergaard into the midfield, now gives it to Delaney, out to his right, and gives it to Andreas Christensen. Now is Kjær for the Danes. He then plays a high ball forward from the middle, headed by Vass into the path of Brathwaite. Barcelona man gets away from Golovin, and then he gets away from another Russia player, and then it's headed behind for a corner by Magomed Ozdoyev, but Denmark are immediately going in search of that opening goal that they so desperately want. Of course, if they were to score, it would shake things up in this group. It would all mean that, apart from Belgium, Russia, Finland and Denmark, should Denmark score, would go on to 3 points in the group. So what a time this would be to score and to really raise the roof at the Parken Stadium, which was absolutely lively when Josef Poulsen scored after just 2 minutes against Belgium in their last game. Poulsen, not a bad one by Vass. Christensen heads it on, but Clement Terpan spots a push on the far post as it was drifting closer towards Christensen, who just sneaked around at the back post. It was actually Poulsen who pushed Diveyev in the back, rather centrally there, and Stanislav Cherchesov's just telling his team to get out there and shift over, because Christensen came from the right-hand side of the 6-yard box all the way to the left, unopposed, and no Russia player was even aware that he was there. But luckily, of course, as he headed it across to his right, the referee gave a free kick Russia's way. Juppe heads it to the number 15, Miranchuk, but it's cut up by the Danish defence. Diveyev goes down. Sorry, Fernandez goes down. And it's a Russia throw-in on the left-hand side where the Danes will be defending. Headed into Højbjerg. Good touch there by Ozdoyev. Golovin sliding in, then gives it to Zobnin. Now it's Kujayev to now Zikia. Safonov with the high ball forward, looking for Zhuba. And then Simon Kjær just heads it all the way behind him to Kasper Schmeichel. And Artem Zhuba is a real player that Russia really depend and rely upon. He is such an integral part of this Russia side, so much so that, of course, if he does score another goal, he will equal Alexander Kereshikov's record post-Soviet Union as Russia's top goal scorer. And, of course, he's been involved in 22 goals in his last 21 appearances for Russia. 14 of them have been goals by himself and 8 assists, so he really does contribute a lot for this Russian side. That's a lovely ball through to Delaney. Touch doesn't help him on its way as Zhiki is able to just come across him and just smash it out of play for a throw down the left, but Delaney made a really good midfield run there, and Georgi Zhiki just had to just fire that away. Throw-ins taken by Vass. There's a real urgency to the Danes tonight, just as they did 4 days ago against Belgium. The crossing by Braithwaite is one that Fernandez just chests back to Safonov, who just slowly dwells on it and just picks the ball up eventually for a kick out of his hands. 10 minutes plus played. Russia 0, Denmark 0. It is also 0-0 in the game in Russia between Belgium and Finland. Of course, Finland do hold second place just because of the minus goal difference Russia find themselves on. It will be Belgium 7, Finland 4, Russia 4, Denmark 1. So Denmark go home. Russia settle for third. Finland automatically through to the knockout stages. Here's Braithwaite. Now with the ball on the right. Thought about the cross, but was closed down well by Daler Kujayev. Gives it now to Christensen. Here's Delaney. Poulsen and Damsgaard and Højbjerg are alongside him. He's got to Myler instead, the left wing back. Probably didn't do as well as he would have liked there. Does eventually get the cross in after a little bit of deliberating. It's blocked. Gives it to Vestergaard instead. The Danes still have possession as they're keeping the attack alive. Here is Damsgaard. Good feet. Tries to poke it through. Off Fernandez, but through to Myler. Damsgaard again down the left-hand side. That's good defending by Ozdoyev. Myler tries to get around Fernandez. That's a well-timed sliding challenge by Fernandez. And then Vestergaard gives it straight to Roman Zobnin. And then Zhuba is fouled by Yannick Vestergaard And that is a free kick and an easy decision for the referee, Clément Turpin, to make. He just cuts across him on his back foot, doesn't he? Just catches his foot, just brushes alongside his back. It's a clear free kick for Russia. And of course, we did see the climax to Group C earlier on. The Netherlands finished with a 100% record in the group stages after they beat North Macedonia 3-0, and Austria, for the first time in their European Championship history, qualified for the knockout stages, as Ukraine have a nervous wait to see if they've gone through. Restarts with the kick by the Russians. Zhuba was the target, but the free kick has been given against the number 23, Daler Kujayev, as he just, Roman Zobnin, as he just goes into Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. He actually does touch the ball as Højbjerg tries to clear it, but maybe the follow-through does catch Højbjerg. He was just hobbling away there in the middle of the pitch, around about 20 yards out away from his goal. But Denmark take this free kick short. Simon Kjær. Højbjerg back to Kjær. Russia playing high, as they do know that Denmark do like to play out from the back. They are quite a neat, intricate side, very different to what they were under their previous coach, Age Hareide, in the 2018 World Cup. Poulsen's touch goes straight to a Russian player in the middle of the pitch, and then the clearance is out of play, which Simon Kjær lets run out of play for a throw. As it's about time to head back over to the Krestovsky Stadium, see what's going on between Belgium and Finland. Russ, any sign of a goal from any of the two sides involved?
No, at the moment, Mab. Both teams just knocking the ball around very, very calmly and collectively. Well, no shots on target from either side just yet. Finland got the ball into Teemu Pukki a few moments ago, but he couldn't get his strike on goal, and after failing to beat his man, and then De Bruyne just put a cross into the box a minute ago, but he couldn't find anyone. Lukas Radecki in goal claimed the shot. Is still 0-0 between Finland and Belgium, coming up towards 15 minutes played.
Absolutely there. Quarter of an hour gone in that game. Quarter of an hour gone here. Denmark on that right-hand side, defended well by the Russians in Daler Kujayev, the left wing back. Then Ozdoyev gets the short pass from Kudryashov and then just hooks it forward for Zhuba. But it has gone Denmark's way, as the referee's given a free kick, as Zhuba just left an arm in on Andreas Christensen, so much so that it left him trailing and stumbling. But it is a free kick that has been given by Clément Turpin, as the man who was taking the throw, Daniel Vaz, didn't realise that a free kick had originally been given. Because there are so many permutations that do affect each side of the grid. It could actually come down to these permutations as who has the highest ranking going into the final sort of standings in this group. Should Denmark win, of course, and they beat Russia by a 1-goal margin, then, of course, it would still not be enough because they have a goal difference of -2. And, of course, it's just enough and a lot for you to get your head around. 16 minutes gone. Russia 0, Denmark 0 at the Telia Parken Stadium in Copenhagen. Denmark, their home team, you could say, almost playing as the away side in their away strip of all white. Russia delegated as the hosts and are in their home strip of all red. Here's Yannick Vestergaard to Simon Kjær. And Finland and Russia are two sides very well known in the past to be quite defensive, given that was the secret of their success, particularly Finland in reaching the European Championships. It might just have that same feel tonight, as Diveev clears the ball forward from Joachim Mæhle. And then that clearance has gone all the way through back to Kasper Schmeichel, as Russia very happy to just try and hold this to as long as they've got, you feel. Just sort of elaborating on what I was saying earlier on. This is a game I listened to on the Commentary Hub, the home of alternative commentary. We're up and running on YouTube. Our official channel, the Commentary Hub, is alive and kicking. And here could be the Russians here with this attack. Really good run by Golovin. Just cuts through the middle of the Danish defence, and he shoots, but it's straight at Schmeichel. And Alexander Golovin probably couldn't believe he had that much time to shoot, and then Fernandez takes it on the chest, has to run onto it, and then half volleys it well over the stand behind Schmeichel's goal. But once Golovin was away from Simon Kjær, he then took it and then went beyond another Danish player. He went beyond Højbjerg, but he hits it against Kasper Schmeichel, who actually kicks it against his other foot. And luckily, he goes back forward into play, and he keeps the score at 0-0. But that's the best chance either side has had in this game. Yeah, it just comes to Alexander Golovin. He just runs through the midfield for Denmark. We're completely cut open, as with their defence through the middle. And Golovin there's got to do better for me. I think he just sort of rushes it. Once he gets beyond Højbjerg to go on his right foot, he's got to try and go across the keeper. He's got to go across Schmeichel's right. He doesn't do that, hits it straight at him. And in the end, Schmeichel doesn't really get tested enough. And that's a big moment for Russia. Well, what a big moment in this game. And what a big moment in that group that certainly was. Touched by the number 22. So the number 23, Højbjerg for Denmark. But it's smashed away by the Russian defence. Now Vestergaard has it inside his own half. Plays it right to Simon Kjær. Daniel Vass. Now Højbjerg. Mejler's in space on the left-hand side. Decides to play it short to his left with Kjær. And then he'll go all the way back to his goalkeeper, Kasper Schmeichel, who then decides to play it long into the right-hand channel for Fyodor Kudryashov to head straight to Daler Kujaev. Now Golovin gives it back to Kujaev. That's good play by the Russians on that left-hand side. Now into the middle with Zobnin. Out to the right wing-back, Mario Fernandez. Now he gives it to Alexei Miranchuk. Chips it down the middle to Zhuba. Turns and shoots. It's a rather stray effort by Artem Zhuba. And he's hit it well wide and out of play for a goal kick. Well, they'll look to give it to him at any possible opportunity. There's a nice little clip ball into Artem Zhuba. He tries to turn. Kjær was really tight to him. I think he would have been given that instruction. Don't allow Zhuba to shoot or bring any of the two inside forwards of Miranchuk and Golovin into play. And he turned, and it was a real poor swing at it by their Russian skipper. Zobnin goes down as the challenge from Damsgaard. Referee says no. No advantage was actually played. Fernandez's ball to the middle is took under control well by the Danish defender Christensen, who now have possession with Pierre-Emil Højbjerg. One goal for Denmark would really raise the roof at the Telia Parken. And with 20 minutes gone, Russia have done well to just not allow Denmark to have the same sort of start that they had on Thursday evening against Belgium, in which they were eventually pegged back. This is good play, though, by Russia. And it's with the number 15, Miranchuk. And then it comes to Zhuba on the edge of the box. And the shot takes a deflection. And it's gone out for a corner kick. Was that midfield again? Højbjerg just loses out. And it's a really good ball by Miranchuk. He just tries to go to the right with Zobnin, who he tried to find. And he did that. And he just tries to play it through. It just bounces off a Denmark player and goes out of play for a corner kick. So the first corner of the game for Russia, which Alexei Miranchuk is going to take off Atalanta. Has a twin in Anton Miranchuk, who wasn't actually selected for these championships. Zhuba will certainly be the target. Diveyev is up from the back. There's 5 Russia players I can see in there that they could aim for. It goes to the back post for Zhuba. Kjær goes down. And Denmark have got a free kick as the foul was made by Georgi Zhikia, who just gave a little push on Simon Kjær before the ball was whipped in. And now Denmark have possession and bring it out from the back. Is Joachim Mæhle to Delaney. Now Vestergaard. So far so good from a Finland and Russia point of view. Belgium, of course, already through in Group B. Of course, what they're looking to secure tonight is top spot, which they are doing exactly that with a positive result. Should they lose, and of course Finland do score quite a few goals, then they would go through themselves. Here is Mæhle. Gives it to Thomas Delaney. He tried to just give it and then get it back, did Joachim Mæhle, and then he fouls Mario Fernandez with that little shove in the back inside his own area. Fernandez, who was just putting his body in front of Joachim Mæhle, and then just got that little shoving arm in the back, and it was quite clever play from Fernandez, just enticed his man into the foul. Of course, we've got more action tomorrow. 2 games on tomorrow. Scotland against Croatia. But of course, England are on as well. Czech Republic is their final group game as England look to reach and look to reach the knockout stages and get top spot in Group D. And of course, we will be certainly keeping a close eye on what happens with Scotland-Croatia. We're on air for that one, on Hot Mic as well, as we continue our coverage of that for England matches. And of course, all on our social platforms as well, as Zobnin went in with the slide. It was Ozdoyev, with the slide-in challenge, as it found Alexander Golovin. But the flag was raised because Golovin was in an offside position. Maybe you're listening to this on the Commentary Hub, the home of alternative commentary. Russia 0, Denmark 0. Is it the same at the Krestovsky Stadium between Finland and Belgium, Russ?
It is, my yes, and a few moments ago, the goal itself, I thought he had a goal when his strike from the edge of the area took a deflection, which was saved by Radzki in the goal after De Bruyne. But moments before, Kevin De Bruyne delivered the ball in. It came off of the number 2 for Finland, Aruji, and he almost beat Areski, but for his header to clear the goal in possession now with Chadley on this left-hand side. Feeds it to Eden Hazard to the Coco chest out for Chadley, but Finland managed to clear. We played 24 minutes in this first half, so Finland 0, Belgium 0.
As it is at the Telia Parken Stadium in a sea of red, but that's Danish red, of course. That's a really good challenge, though, by Daler Kujayev. Really vital interception there, but Denmark win it back. Good defensive play by Simon Kjær. Had his spidey senses on there to try and win that back, didn't he? As Yusuf Poulsen can't get away from Magomed Ozdoyev, who does that so well for Stanislav Cherchesov's side. And he gets a high five from Fyodor Kudryashov and wins a free kick down that left-hand side as Poulsen just clipped his ankle. I think Ozdoyev knew exactly what he was doing in terms of just trying to win the free kick, and any sort of slight contact, he was going to go down. And the linesman on that right-hand side, the French linesman, Cyril Gungore, was very quick to make the decision. Restart is back in play. Kick towards Artem Zhuba, who goes down. No fouls. Christensen out jumps in, but Russia have possession here as Golovin is fouled just inside the Danish centre of midfield, as Delaney is the man who's penalised for the foul. We're 25 minutes in. Russia 0, Denmark 0, of course. We have our own YouTube channel now set up as the Commentary Hub, so do give us a like and subscribe. We're on JB Sports as ever and have been since the start of this tournament in partnership with them. And of course, we are on the various social media platforms as much as anything else. But Russia have a 3 kick here. How they would love to score a goal to silence the Copenhagen crowd, the largely Danish crowd as well, around about 23,000 inside this stadium, even maybe just slightly more. Clement Turpin wanting just a few words. And the free kick is taken short as Golovin and Kujayev conjure something up here. Ball goes back in. It looks for Diveyev. It is headed away well. Zhikia in the middle heads it to Ozdoyev. And then Myler tries to clear it down the line, but Ozdoyev just puts a foot in and stops him from sending it away. And just keeps Denmark inside their own half. And now does Magomed Ozdoyev, who was actually the first Caucasian Muslim to play for the Russian national team in a major tournament. The man who, of course, plays his club football for Zenit St. Petersburg, Russia's premier club. Headed by Højbjerg's behind. Delaney was fouled there in the back, was he, by Ozdoyev? Referee says no. Here is, though, Myler, who does well to spin away from Ozdoyev. Continues to try and get away from the number 15 for Russia, Miranchuk. And then it's just a rather wild clash. A rather wild ball out to the right. Kudryashov collided with Daniel Vass. And Kudryashov has his name taken in the referee's book as he was late as he collided with Daniel Vass. Well, he got up for the header. He certainly meant well with his intentions, but he did just send Vas in a heap on the floor as he just sort of went into his side with his elbow. He was just a rather few seconds too late. There was Fyodor Kudryashov. Kiar with the ball, searching one through the left-hand side, through the middle. Well defended, though, by Daler Kujayev. Here is now Højbjerg, just about keeps that in. It did look like a little bit of the ball was out of play. Good feet by Damsgaard, can't get away from Kujayev or Kudryashov for that fact inside the Russia box. Zhuba down again, but then there is Vestergaard to knock it back to Kasper Schmeichel, as Denmark so far have been frustrated by Stanislav Cherchesov's side. Many sides certainly felt that with Russia in the World Cup. Spain certainly did in that round of 16 game at the Luzhniki. In 2018, of course, Croatia were frustrated by them for periods in that thrilling match, which of course saw Croatia prevail and win on penalties to deny Russia a World Cup semi-final in their own country. Certainly does show that home advantage did count. Not the best low pass by Schmeichel, looking for Delaney. Cutting it out was Roman Zobnin, but then Delaney wins it well off Zobnin. Just within a few seconds as Zobnin winning it from Schmeichel. Here's Højbjerg, he's going to line a shot up! And that is a really good rasping drive by Pierre-Emil Højbjerg. He was central when he took aim. Round about sort of 25 yards out. He caught a hold of it really well, and it's just flashed beyond Matvey Safonov's goal. And he was diving to his right, the Krasnodar keeper. But that's as close as Kasper Hjulmand's Denmark has come in this game. Yeah, got the crowd off on their feet. You can see some of the reactions. The manager thought it was in. It's a really good attempt by Højbjerg. They haven't forced Safonov into any sort of save of any note so far, or even tried to test him. But that was certainly a tester there, and maybe a flavour of what's to come. As it stands in Group B, Belgium top on 7 and will go through. It stands as Finland in second on 4 due to a superior goal difference. Russia have the same points, but have, of course, a -2 goal difference as it stands, and Denmark will go home on just 1 point. Schmeichel then plays the ball out to the right, picks out Vas lovely inside his own half. Here is now Pierre-Emil Højbjerg. Forward ball looking for Braithwaite, who's trying to just go through the middle and get him behind, the Russian defender, Igor Diveyev, but it's all the way through to Matvey Safonov. Half an hour gone in this one. Ball forward by Damsgaard, looks for Yusuf Poulsen, who's so far been a shadow and has been kept quiet by the Russian defence as they've marshalled him out well. Delaney now to Kiar. Simon Kier, I should say. Here is the Danish captain. Plays it out to the right. That low ball to Vas. Still probably a little bit too deep for the Danish fans' liking. They need to probably get it a little bit higher up the pitch, as Mailer's in a lot of space down the left, with the Russian player sort of just in the middle and just sort of shifting toward the right. If Simon Kier can look out to the left, he would have found Mailer, but instead went to Schmeichel, who gets it back from Andreas Christensen, as they're almost playing with a 2, and then Christensen's almost acting as a number 4 in the midfield, you could say, as Mario Fernandes is fouled, as he was just bundled over there by Mikael Damsgaard, who tried to get beyond him and just get a touch to it, but Fernandes got his body up and wins a free kick. Kasper Hjulmand was not too happy about that decision. And of course, in this group, the runners-up will play Wales in Amsterdam on Saturday. And of course, depending on where the other sides finish, whoever gets third, so as it stands, Russia potentially could be facing the winner of either Group F, which is the group of death with Germany, Portugal, and France in Bucharest, or the winner in Glasgow of Group E, which is, of course, Spain, Sweden, Poland, Slovakia's group, which, of course, will be decided on Wednesday evening. Delaney's ball to Mailer is cut out well by Fernandes. There was nowhere near getting to it as he fouls the number 15, Alexei Miranchuk. And it's a Russia free kick inside their own half. Final sort of 15 plus minutes of this game of the first half remaining. Russia 0, Denmark 0 at the Telia Parken Stadium in Copenhagen. Of course, it has been the scene of the most traumatic experience of Christian Eriksen collapsing. Here's the ball in from the left by Golovin. Good header away by Simon Kjær. And it is a Russia throw. And of course, there, as the throw-in is on the left-hand side, which is left by Golovin, of course, for Kudryashov to take. There was a nice flag there with Christian Eriksen's name on it. Of course, the Danish flag, and in the white writing in the white sort of stripe down the middle with black writing says Eriksen with 2 love hearts on either side. Nice touch by the Danish fans, of course. Still have their talismanic figure in their minds, of course. Headed by Zhubor to the edge of the box. Here's Golovin, but he can't keep it down and smashes, well, sends it over the bar, I should say. It was headed down into him. Zhubor, with those clever little flicks, he just gets in the middle, just tries to bring the other attackers into play. He's got to do that as much as he can tonight. He gave it to Golovin. He set the chance up well, but he's just sort of, tried to really hit the top corner, and he's hit that very firmly into Rowe's head. Kasper Hjulmand and Joachim Mæhle discussing tactics, as maybe Mæhle might just be pushing up a little bit further. So 0-0 in this one at the Telia Parken. Are we any closer to a goal in the Belgium-Finland game? And as I understand, Russ, Belgium have just gone close.
Yes, they went close a few moments ago. It's a fantastic ball in from Jeremy Doku on the right. And then he came out to the edge of the penalty area from a scuffed clearance, which found the feet of Axel Witsel, who fired a shot just over the bar. Then, just as you come to me, just before that, Jeremy Doku found some space inside the penalty area, managed to get a strike away, but the shot was blocked brilliantly. But then, a couple of minutes after that, ball fell Eden Hazard inside the penalty area. He tried to tee up Trossard coming in from the right-hand side, but his effort went over the bar as well. It's still Finland 0, Belgium 0, coming up towards the final 10 minutes of the first half. 0-0 between Finland and Belgium.
That game, of course, being played at the Krestovsky Stadium in St. Petersburg, the home to Zenit, St. Petersburg. So 0-0 in that one. Belgium top on 7 as it stands. Finland on 4 and going through in their first ever major tournament beyond the group stages into the knockout stages. They'll be guaranteed of that. And we'll be playing Wales in Amsterdam next Saturday. Well, this Saturday coming. Russia in 3rd and still face a nervous wait, but 4 points from your 3 games in the group in the Euros does maybe feel like you've done enough to progress, as Kasper Schmeichel looks for the ball to Damsgaard on the left-hand side, but it's gone over his head and left by the right wing-back Fernandez out for a Russia throw. He's not quite had the same impact in this game as he did against Belgium. He really left an impression, did the young Mikael Damsgaard, who plays his couple for Sampdoria, and Claudio Ranieri in Serie A. Of course, Braithwaite missed some good chances in the game. Poulsen scored and was a problem for the Belgian defence in the first half, but Russia have stood firm and have not really allowed that front three to have a say on this game at all. Mæhle flicks it over the head of Fernandez. There's space opening up on the left. Good cross in. Looking for Braithwaite at the back post, but it's defended well by the Russian defence. Vass with the cross in this time. Could he pick somebody out? Mæhle was attacking it. It was Fernandez who got up. Zhikia was competing with it as well. And then Simon Kjær just plays it forward for Mæhle to get it under control. Fernandez gets in front of him. Exemplary defending as he just sends it forward. Touches not the best by Alexei Miranchuk. Now Denmark have it with Damsgaard. Højbjerg to Mæhle. Almost stretches and falls on his backside as he tries to keep that attack alive. But it's cleared away. Straight back to Simon Kjær. Russia 0, Denmark 0. Denmark have had over 70% of the ball, but really have not forced Matvey Safonov into a save, which Russia will be absolutely smiling about as they head into the break at the moment. Goalless. Damsgaard with the cross in, looks for Poulsen, nearly found its way through. Kudryashov with the header away. Now Vass on the right-hand side, gets the ball under his chest, back heels it, looking for Delaney, but it's defended well by Dalia Kujayev, who's defended well so far. And of course, the ball has just gone out of play as he got the return from Alexander Golovin. But they've not put enough crosses in this game tonight, have Denmark. Poulsen is a big lad, target man, loves a header, loves the battling in the air. He went beyond this marker, but the cross from Damsgaard was just not enough height on it. And in the end, easy for Fyodor Kudryashov to deal with. Here is Damsgaard in a bit of space, so goes for the corner and scores! Mikkel Damsgaard with a piece of absolute brilliance to put Denmark 1-0 up. He opened up and curled it beyond Matvey Safonov, who was a statue as he watched that ball go beyond him into the net. And just like that, Kasper Hjulmand's Denmark take the lead against Russia, and Group B is even more wide open now. Russia 0, Denmark 1. The Danish fans inside the Telia Parken are going absolutely wild. What a goal. He catches Matvey Safonov cold. He just opens up. Zhikia gives him that room to go onto his right foot, and he bends it to perfection. It's got the height as well. And the moment it leaves his foot, it just goes in. I was saying minutes before he's been quiet and how the Russians had, not allowed him any sort of time to get the ball, but he's just popped into that space in the middle and has produced that. What an outstanding finish by the young Danish forward. What a goal by Mikkel Damsgaard. What a moment for him. What a moment for the country. What a moment for the team. Of course, playing, in the midst of Christian Eriksen collapsing and galvanising the whole country, and pretty much the whole of Europe, you could say, really does have a soft spot for this Danish side, given what they've been through. But Mikkel Damsgaard, a man who has made a bit of a name for himself at club level, looking to try and do the same internationally, has just scored his third goal for his country. And what an unbelievable goal it was. And whatever happens tonight, it is a moment that he will never, ever forget. And this group really does now change. Finland, Russia, Denmark, all on 3 points apiece. And if Denmark were to score another goal, it would really put them in serious contention to potentially qualify. Højbjerg through to Poulsen. It might just get better. He tried to clip it to the back post. Myler didn't run onto it. And the ball has just gone back to him on the left-hand side of the box. He crosses in. Kudryashov heads it behind for a corner. It's a big 6 minutes coming up for Russia as they find themselves a goal down. I'll go to Russ Vernon just after this corner with, of course, as I understand, a chance happening for Roberto Martinez's Belgium side. But Denmark have got a corner from the right-hand side. The crowd have woken up. They're roaring their team on. Inside the Parken Stadium, of course, they were loud when they played Belgium on Thursday evening. They were 1-0 up in the first half and ultimately lost 2-1. Let's hope lightning doesn't strike here. Vass with the corner, looks to the penalty spot. Vestergaard gets up, flicks it on. He looks for Delaney and he just couldn't direct it goalwards, and he's just missed it as Thomas Delaney. Vestergaard was on the penalty spot. Diveyev and Zhikia were there to just try and not allow him to head it across. Vestergaard leaps above the pair of them, gives it to Delaney, and he just can't flick it on. And really, he knows he should have got something towards Matvey Safonov's goal. And as it stands, Denmark have overtaken Russia into third place to give them some sort of hope of progressing out of Euro 2020. I'll go to Russ Vernon now, as I understand Belgium are getting ever closer to opening the scoring against Finland.
Yes, they are, Martin. And they've almost just done the score as you come to me again. Dorku with another fantastic chance to be saved by Rudetsky there, but moments before, Rudetsky kept out Lukaku, blasted headed towards goal, and there was another fantastic save by the goalkeeper then, and then Lukaku headed over the bar as well. Belgium getting ever closer, and Roberto Martinez's side is still 0-0. Belgium just have a corner kick, and they've fetched up Denayer from the back. They've also fetched up Boyata, in towards Boyata, comes out of Witsel, and Finland managed to clear the lines. 42 minutes on the clock. It is Finland 0, Belgium 0.
Well, the reaction from Kasper Hjulmand was something special. He knew it was an absolutely extraordinary effort by Mikael Damsgaard. There's a little break in play due to a Denmark player going down. Pierre-Emil Højbjerg just goes off for extra attention from the medical staff. But the Danish fans are jumping. But as it stands, it's not enough to get them into second place. Finland, with their holding of Belgium, the world's best side going into these Euros, and them keeping it at 0-0, it means they are, as it stands, going through in second place with 4 points. Denmark up to third on 3 points due to the fact they've got a better goal difference than Russia. And then it would mean Stanislav Cherchesov's World Cup quarter-finalists of 2018 will be heading home early from the tournament as the last place side in Group B. So Finland take on Wales as it stands in Amsterdam on Saturday, and Denmark face a nervous way. And of course, we'll have to find out Wednesday evening if they have took their place as one of the 16 sides in the knockout stages for the European Championships. Only 4 of the 6 sides who finished third can go through. And as we've seen already, Switzerland have got 4 points. Ukraine have got 3. We know 2 of the third place sides who will be the third one tonight. And as it stands, it is Denmark, as I mentioned. 90 seconds of the first half to go. Russia 0, Denmark 1. Mikael Damsgaard's goal is the difference at the moment between the two. In a game where Russia were defending well, not allowing Denmark to create any sort of chances on Matvei Safonov's goal. Mikael Damsgaard, as I say, produced an absolutely superb bit of quality to open up from about 18 yards out and just bend it beyond Matvei Safonov, who just saw that ball go beyond him. And for the goalkeeper, it almost looked like a Matrix moment, didn't it? Just go beyond him into the net and just stop in almost slow motion. Ball is into Damsgaard. He's certainly going to be feeling 10 feet tall after a goal like that. Golovin to Diveyev. Now here's Zhikia. Diveyev again. Ball is a real heavy one into, looking for Golovin, but it's cut out by the Danish defence in Christensen. Kudryashev's got time on the left-hand touchline to play it forward to Roman Zobnin. He then clips it forward, looking for Golovin. Christensen's there to step in. Then Vas gives it to Damsgaard. Now Martin Braithwaite gets past Kudryashov, who goes down, looks for the low cross. It's gone off a Russia player. Damsgaard still has it, crosses to the back post, but it's high and onto the roof of the net. But the Danish fans, clappers, they like the signs that Denmark are getting closer to a second goal. Here comes to Damsgaard. He just tries to clip it to the back post. Safonov, of course, just sees it over, of course. He's got to understand that it could easily just go the other way and just go on the inside of the crossbar and go in, but luckily for him, it was off the roof of the net. 1 minute of stoppage time in this one at the Telia Parken. Russia 0, Denmark 1. It's a big 45 minutes ahead for all Finland, Denmark and Russia to come in Group B. If a second goal goes in, it really does throw Denmark's chances really in a good position. Here is now Magomed Ozdoyev. He then crosses in, looking to the left. It's away by Vas. Easily able to head it away, but he can only head it straight to Zobnin into the middle. Here's Golovin now, who's gone out to the left, taking on Yusuf Poulsen. He's almost acting as a defensive midfielder, just trying to hold this 1-0 lead into half-time. Russia in possession as we have now ended the first half in Copenhagen. Well, Denmark are doing what they need to do, which is to win the game. They have gone from bottom of the group into third place as it stands. And of course, with Finland drawing, it means that Markku Kanerva's side currently holds second place with them drawn with Belgium. But Denmark, who of course knew that they had to win to stand any chance of progressing and having any sort of hope of the knockout stages, lead against Russia at the Telia Parken by 1-0. And what a goal it was to get them in front from Mikael Damsgaard.
Thank you very much, Matt Isles, and it's currently 0-0 between Finland and Belgium at half-time as well. We get the thoughts from Matt on his game in a few moments, and we'll get the thoughts of myself on my game in a few moments. We're back in a couple of minutes. You're listening to the commentary of Welcome back to the Commentary Hub's coverage of Russia against Denmark, where Denmark can lead by a goal to nil. And I've just seen the strike as well, and what a goal it was from Dalsgaard in that game, and a fantastic goal as well. And Matt, you've been watching that game and covering that game for us today. Do you believe that Denmark do deserve their lead overall at half time?
Well, they've been dominant in possession. I think Russia have set their stall up very, very early on, which is to keep things very, very tight, go for the 0-0, and obviously not allow Denmark sort of any chance to really shake this group up, which they've done. They've now really thrown this up in the air. This is up in smoke. This is just too close to call. And obviously at the moment, with Belgium drawing 0-0 with Finland, it's not really helping their case at all. But that's an entirely different matter. But I think Denmark do deserve it. I mean, yes, they've not created nearly enough chances as they probably would have liked. But one thing that you could say that they've done is they've kept the ball well. They've stayed patient. They know that with the movement they've got and the attacking quality, they're always going to try and find those little bits of space. It was only going to take one chance that they were going to really get a shot on goal. I did think that it was only a matter of time before they were going to get at least one big opportunity. And when they got it, boy, did he take it. For me, that's got to be one of the goals of the tournament.
Yes, and it was a fantastic goal as well. And he's up there for one of the goals of the tournament. I'm trying to think of better ones to top it, and I've seen a few in the tournament so far, so it'll be interesting to see how that concludes whether that wins goal of the tournament or whether better goals than that from Dalsgaard will be scored in the later stages. And at half time, who would you say is would be the happier of the two managers? Would it be Stanislav Chesov or Kasper Hjulmand?
Well, it'd certainly be Kasper Hjulmand. I think, obviously, he knows that his side needed to put a good performance out there in terms of, the result being in the right way. And I think, that is what's going well for them. Obviously, they can do all they can. If they win the game, then they've got third. They've got some sort of hope of progressing. Of course, they'll hope that Belgium can do them a little bit of a favour and obviously maybe ship a few goals and beat Finland, but it's not quite working out like that. But they've got to, first and foremost, think about themselves. But of course, he'll be delighted with that first half performance. They've got a little bit more to give, but they're in front, heading for their first 3 points, which they do probably deserve. They've been unlucky in this tournament so far, given everything that's happened with the whole Eriksson situation, which has kind of just thrown the whole tournament for Denmark, their preparations and how they kind of go into games sort of up in the air a little bit. But they're really digging it out. And I think, that there is still more to come from this Denmark side who, as we know, are very, very lively and have got some real good technical flair players. And just on the goal, actually, Russ, I think, the one thing for people at home who haven't seen it yet, the one thing about it, how he just gets the ball into him in the middle, he just opens up, he gets it out of his feet and then bends it like that. That is absolutely unbelievable. And, if you don't believe my words that it's an unbelievable goal, if you've got the time at halftime to go and watch it, please do, because you'll realise why I'm really hyping the goal up. It was absolutely extraordinary.
It was indeed, and I just want to put out there as well, because I've seen it at half time as well. Matt is absolutely spot on. It's absolutely extraordinary finish from Dalsgaard, and it was a fantastic goal and up there for one of goals of the tournament. If we just look at the two benches now, Matt, if you were to look at Russia first of all, what would you reckon Russia need to do in this second half? Do you reckon they may need to go to the bench to try and get something out of this? Or do you reckon what they've got out on the field have shown enough to try and get back into this game so far?
Well, the approach from Russia, as I said earlier on, Russ, has been very defensive. It's been very much just trying to go to Copenhagen and get a 0-0 and just see the job through. Of course, I think there is that expectation amongst Russia and Denmark that Belgium will beat Finland. So it's basically down to them two to see who potentially gets second place. Of course, Russia did start the day in a better position to get second place because of Denmark being behind, but it's not quite working out like that. So I think they do need to try and change their approach. If it does stay at 1-0 with around about sort of 20, 25 minutes of the game to go, that's when you start to maybe try and change your tactics, try and change approach. But I'll be amazed if, Stanislav Cherchesov does keep it the whole way through this system, this philosophy, because I think, at times it's not really been there. And I think obviously they need the equalising goal to really guarantee any sort of chance of progressing to the knockout stages. Because as it stands, as you know, and the people at home know, Russia are heading out at the moment due to the fact that they've got a less superior goal difference.
Yes, they are, Matt. And if I just go back to my game, which I'm covering, and updates on throughout the second half on Finland against Belgium. Belgium have had the better of the chances. The first real chance of note came in the 38th minute when Lukas Rajecki made a fantastic stop by Romelu Lukaku, who glanced and had a from close range towards the net. It looked like he was going in. And then Jeremy Doku, just before half-time, latched on to a lovely pass inside the penalty area, but towards the right-hand side of the area as well. But the effort was smothered by the goalkeeper as well, but Rajecki as well. But Finland have had chances, Matt, as I mentioned, during the updates in the first half. They've gone close a few times themselves. It's not all Belgium, but the main two big chances have come from Belgium. And when I come to mention, it were mainly Belgium chances who had the chances. And the ball going towards Teemu Pukki, but he couldn't get a shot off because he was crowded out inside the opening 12 minutes. But I think in this game, I think Roberto Martinez will be the happier of the two because as things stand, as you know, Matt, and the people at home know, Belgium are going through as group winners with 7 points. And the Finland boss as well, which is Maruk Kanereva, will also be happy because his Finland side, as it stands at the moment, will gain a positive result against Belgium. They are going into the knockout stages in second spot, so they'll be automatically through into second spot, and be interesting to see how that goes for them going forward. Just a bit of an update there on my match so far. And just another quick one before started for the second half. Yeah. Obviously, Mikhail Damsgaard has got the opening goal of the game and the only goal of the game so far in your match. But if you were to, at the moment, obviously, you won't be man of the match till the back end of the second half. But who has been the standout man in that first half from either a Russian, for overall, whether it's a Russian player or a Danish player? Who feel has been the standout man in that first half so far?
Well, I think I'd have to probably say Højbjerg. I think he's playing a very different role to what he usually does at Tottenham. He's the enforcer, the sort of destroyer you see at Tottenham, winning the ball back and trying to give the ball to one of the more attacking midfielders to, be the creative one. But he's in a midfield too with Delaney, so they're quite similar players. Delaney sits back, but he's very defensive for Dortmund, and he's doing the same for Denmark. But Højbjerg is kind of up and down. He's being, tackling in high positions. He's winning it back. He's trying to link the attacks up. So I think for me, he's probably been the real standout name. But just before the second half does start, Russ, got a little stat here for you. Mikhail Damsgaard becomes the youngest ever player to score for Denmark in a European Championship finals match at the age of 20 years of age and 353 days.
Wow, that is some feat in that. And he'll be very happy with that and to get that accolade as well. And it'll be interesting to see how the second half does unfold as we get ready for second half in both matches very, very soon. The players are back out over in Copenhagen, where's your main match between Russia and Denmark. And it's just underway, so it's back over to Matt Iles for the second half as the players just come back out here between Finland and Belgium. Matt.
Thank you very much, Russ. Well, as it stands, Russia heading home early from Group B. Denmark looking nervously to wait to see if they've done enough to go through, whilst Finland will be celebrating with Belgium in progressing from the Group B as 1 and 2 in the group, with Belgium being top with 7 points. And immediately 30 seconds into the second half, Joachim Mæhle has gone down for Denmark as he was caught by a Russian foot in there just in the middle of the pitch. So the referee Clément Turpin from France has just stopped the game, so Joachim Mæhle can receive some treatment. I'll go through the two sides quickly. No changes at the break as Mæhle was just caught with Fernandes there. He actually does foul Fernandes, but then it's just a little sort of foot or something that leads to Mæhle going down. Whether or not Fernandes just left something on him is something to think about. But anyway, the Russian side lined up like this. Matvey Safonov in goal. Back three, Igor Diveyev, Georgi Zhikia and Fyodor Kudryashov. Then it's the 4 at right wing back. It's Mario Fernandes. The 2 in midfield, Magomed Ozdoyev, Roman Zobnin and Daler Kuzhayev. And then it's the 2 attacking wingers or inside forwards of Alexei Miranchuk, Alexander Golovin, and then up front on his own is Artem Zhuba, the skipper. The subs, Shunin, Tyupin, Semenyov, Karavayev, Yevgeniev, Cheryshev, Barinov, Zemalyetdinov, Ionov, Mukhin, Sobolev, and Zabolotny, as Russia have got a free kick here. I'll go for the Danish side just after this free kick is taken, as they're going down to 10 men, as Mæhle has just wandered off the pitch on the right-hand side just for now. The ball goes in. It's defended well by Højbjerg, headed away now. Kudryashov to Golovin, who's scrambling to keep that in. It did look like maybe it got out first, but Vas with the sliding challenge. That means it's a Russia throw on the left. Kudryashov tries to take it, and then it just didn't actually fully come out of his hands, and sort of just threw it partially in the air, as I think maybe there was a bit of sweaty palms there from the Russian number 30. Throws it into the box for Zhuba. He flicks it, but doesn't know where the second ball in the air is. Headed away by a Danish head. And it's gone to Diveyev via Ozdoyev. So Denmark line up that list with Safonov in possession, who sends it long. Schmeichel, Christensen, Simon Kjær and Vestergaard, the back three. Then it's the 4 of Vas, Højbjerg, Delaney, Mæhle. And then the 3 up front of Braithwaite, Poulsen and Damsgaard, the goal scorer. And what a goal it was to put Denmark 1-0 up with around about sort of 8 minutes of the first half remaining. And the subs, Lørsel, Ronno, Andersen, Larsen, Jorgensen, Skov, Nørgaard, Jensen, Skov Olsen, Dahlberg, Vind and Cornelius. 3 minutes into the second half here, Russia 0, Denmark 1. We'll keep the updates going with Russ Vernon, with Finland, of course, playing Belgium in the other game at this current time. Zhuba was the man who was again looked to have been found through the middle. He made his way into the Danish box, but it was cut out well by the Danish defence. There is now Igor Diveyev, the man who's only been in the Russian fold for a matter of months. And then Damsgaard has won the throw, courtesy of that touch from Roman Zobnin. Of course, in 2012, Russia did lose their final group game to Greece, which meant they crashed out of the tournament on that dubious head-to-head rule. Kudryashov is down on the ground holding his head. Of course, the ref did actually let play continue for just a little bit before the ball was kicked out by a Russian player. So Clément Turpin has stopped play. Kudryashov is down. And with this break in play, it's perfect timing and right on cue for me to go over to Russ Vernon to tell the early exchanges of how Finland and Belgium is getting onto the Krestovsky Stadium. Russ, any sign of a goal early on in this game? In the second half, sorry.
No, Matt. The Belgium just had a corner which was to clear the way all the way back to Thibaut Courtois in the Belgian goal. But Belgium on the front foot. Finland had a few early chances as well. By the start of the second half, we played 48 minutes, which was 48 minutes and 30 seconds. Almost 49 minutes gone. It's still Belgium drawing 0-0 with Finland, but Belgium on the attack here, docking towards Hazard, but that ball is cleared away. Still 0-0, coming towards the 49th minute.
Well, it was Højbjerg and Kudryashov both involved in a head collision. Kudryashov's come off worse. Højbjerg was actually trying to flick it away from Kudryashov, so he was in front of the ball that was played to him, and obviously in front of Kudryashov. Kudryashov was attacking it forward-facing rather than back-facing like Højbjerg, and they both clashed heads, and it does look like that there is going to be no substitute for either manager to make, and both do look like they're okay as play does continue. Out on the left-hand side, around about 35 yards from the Denmark goal, there is Kujayev gives it all the way back to Safanov with that long ball back. Safanov kicks it forward. Zhuba with the flick to his right. Can't quite go all the way through to Alexei Miranchuk, who scored that wonderful goal against Finland that's obviously started the night, put in Russia in a good position. Here's Højbjerg now with that sort of mustard-coloured bandage all around his head. That's the ball by Damsgaard to Braithwaite. It's a slide that gives it back to Daniel Vass. Here's Christensen. Damsgaard slips now to Christensen again. There was a sliding challenge by Zobnin, but Christensen was able to get it away and play it to his defender Vestergaard. Kjær now on the ball. And then he goes all the way back to Kasper Schmeichel, who's had nothing to do for Denmark tonight. In the goal, Russia have created very little in the way of chances at the Telia Parken Stadium. And that ball has almost been gobbled up by Mæhle, but it's just been missed by him and missed by Fernandes. And it's gone for a Denmark throw on the left-hand side. 6.5 minutes gone in the second half. Russia 0, Denmark 1. As it stands in Group B, Belgium finish top on 7 points. Finland finish on 4. Denmark on 3. Russia on 3. Denmark go above Russia because of a better goal difference. And of course, as it stands, those 3 goals that Russia conceded in match day 1 against Belgium in St. Petersburg is going to be rather costly, and what's going to stop them from actually having any sort of hope of qualifying for the knockout stages. Schmeichel's ball is headed away by Daler Kujayev. He then just knocks it into Golovin following a Denmark header, which was headed straight to Kujayev. Now Diveyev. Doesn't look like so far there's a change of tactic from Russia of real note. The only thing you could say is that maybe they're going to be a little bit more on the floor rather than just use Artem Zhuba at any possible opportunity. The kick by Safanov is defended away and headed well by Vestergaard. Now Poulsen and Damsgaard with linking up there. Diveyev with a really good, well-timed sliding challenge. Poulsen there goes to ground, but Diveyev went in and just stabs it out of play for a throw on that left-hand side, in which Denmark are attacking in. Here is now Damsgaard, the goal scorer. Certainly a case of remember the name with a goal like that. If you didn't see it at half-time, then please do it full-time. Højbjerg with the ball. Vass cuts it across. Here's Braithwaite. Poor touch. Had he got that touch right, he would have got a shot at goal. Daniel Vass made a really good run beyond the left-hand side of the Russian defenders. And he cut it back to Braithwaite. And that really was not the right way to go about it. It was poor decision-making by the Denmark number 9 and Barca man. Vass does so well to just lay it back into him. It's not got a lot of pace on it. It's a perfect sort of power on it. It's placed right to his foot. Tries to take a touch, and the touch was heavy. And then Russia were able to just get it clear quickly, sort of just a few yards in front of Matvei Safanov. But got to say, Braithwaite's got to do better there. Miranchuk is fouled. Free kick. He was being held onto there by a Danish player. As we are heading into the sort of first 10 minutes of this second half. No real big chances we can say so far. Remember earlier on today, Group C was confirmed as Holland and Austria as the top 2, of Holland ending as a 100% record. Ukraine in 3rd on 3 points. North Macedonia sent packing from the tournament on their debut with no points. And of course, them conceding 8 goals, scoring 2 as they crashed out in what was Goran Pandev's swan song in not just international football, but football in general. As Artem Zhuba is penalised for a foul into the side of Andreas Christensen. And for people who don't actually know what Artem Zhuba looks like, in terms of his frame and sort of the way he looks and the way he plays, he does remind me a bit of a John Parkin, which is quite a interesting sort of comparison. Very different careers. John Parkin never a goal scorer at international level. Artem Zhuba, of course, looking to go joint top tonight with Alexander Karashikov as Russia's joint top scorer since, of course, they were an independent country in the mid-90s. They've got a good European Championship record. They were semi-finalists in 2008. The last 2 tournaments, they've crashed out of the group stages. Nonetheless, under Dick Advocat and Leonard Slutsky, respectively, the World Cup 3 years ago brought them a lot of hope and brought them back into the fold after a couple of years of where they'd been really poor. On the left, it's with Mæhle, short to Poulsen. He crosses in. Vassad, the man who he's looking for. Kujayev with the header away. He's defended well tonight, the standing left wing back, and then Diveev is fouled and wins a free kick as Paulson just goes into the back of him. Of course, where's Jure on his shirt? There's Yusuf Paulson, a man who's been in the Denmark fold for a long time now. Has descent from other countries, of course. He does have a Danish mother and a Tanzanian father, but of course is very much a Denmark player and has been for a long time. Kudryashov just gets in front of Højbjerg, but can only clear it to the left. And with Yusuf Paulson, he's coming in from the left. He's going to fire a shot. It's well blocked by Diveev, who threw himself in front of the shot centrally out. Højbjerg now has it. Vass has made the run from the right wing-back position. That's a really good header by Kuzhaev to get above Daniel Vass. They've had a really interesting one-on-one battle, haven't they? As it's been Vass v Kuzhaev. And then Delaney fouls Zobnin, who goes down, and Thomas Delaney is going to be the first Denmark player to be cautioned in this game for his team, and of course the first one of this second half, and it left Clement Tepin with no choice. Now it was in the middle of the pitch. Zobnin just gets away from Delaney, good feet to keep it there and just not allow Delaney the chance to win it back. And he just sort of comes across him, and the arm's there, isn't it, on his side, and it's enough to pull him down and win a free kick. Crossfield ball to the left with Zhuba, out-jumped by Christensen. Not quite been the Russia skipper's night tonight, has it? He got the assist from Moranchuk on Wednesday when they beat Finland by a 0-0. It's not quite been the same story, even though he has shown what he can do with those flick-ons as he tries to give it into Moranchuk. It's then given to Kuzhaev, who's had to go back to go forward. He now plays it to the right, crossed in by Zhikia, and then it's been left by Simon Kjær to go out of play for a goal kick. Yeah, it was a good ball in by Zhikia. And you've got to say, yes, they're targeting Jabri centrally out, but you've got to hope that there's another runner there. Golovin was just sort of on the edge of the box. And yes, Zhuba was shepherded out well there by the Danish defence, but they wouldn't have been seeing a man coming to the back post. And Golovin, for me, has got a gamble on it. Well, as it stands in this group, Belgium top on 7 points and will go through as group winners. Finland will be in second place in Group B. What an achievement that will be for them, a country of their size and their footballing history. To be in their first major tournament and qualify for the knockout stage would be an absolute achievement for them. It's been given away nonetheless by Ozdoyev. Denmark will be third. Russia will be fourth, both on 3 points, but Denmark will have a better goal difference. It's a really good run by Myler, just doesn't have enough legs to go through to Paulson, who's not able to get on the end of it. And then Matvey Safonov comes out, dives down low at Paulson's feet, and then rolls it to the left with Kuzhaev. It's given back to the goalkeeper by Safonov, and Zobnin has given it straight to Paulson, and Denmark are 2-0 up. Yusuf Paulson has scored the easiest goal that he will ever get. And Roman Zobnin just probably wants the ground to eat him up with an error like that. He has gift-wrapped a chance for Denmark, which they've opened, and they've gone 2-0 up and have further strengthened their chances of reaching the last 16 in the European Championships. Russia 0, Denmark 2. My goodness me, what on earth is Roman Zobnin doing? Well, he gets it in the middle from Kuzhaev. He turns, he just doesn't even think to know where Safonov is. He just looks up and thinks Safonov is going to be there, but he's overhit it. Safonov's gone to his left-hand post to just try and get on the end of it, but he's overhit by Zobnin, and then he's just trying to just get across to Paulson, not allow him any room to shoot. But as he's trying to do that, he's just sort of gone down. He's just sort of dragging himself along the floor to try and stop it. But Paulson there just stays calm and rolls it in, and Denmark have gone 2-0 up. What a horrible moment for Roman Zobnin. Denmark now 2-0 up. Really now in command of this game. But of course, what they really want now to make things even better for them is for Finland to go a goal down against Belgium, as Yusuf Paulson has just gone off. And his last action is one that's going to be a goal for his country. 2 in 3 games for him in these championships. But My goodness me, what an absolutely shocking moment it is for Russia. We've got it all to do now if they are to stay in this tournament and not finish bottom of the group. Alexander Sobolev looks like he's going to be coming on along with Rifat Zamaletdinov, and Jens Striger Larsen has come on in place of Daniel Vass. And as well for Denmark, Kasper Dolberg has gone on for Yusuf Poulsen in the process. So they've gone off after an hour in that game. So changes for Russia, 2 in the offing for them as well. Sobolev and Zamaletdinov come on. Ozdoyev off as Zamaletdinov comes on in his place. And we are going to see the other change for Russia. I'll just announce that very, very shortly. It didn't actually come up on the screen who actually was replaced, but the Denmark changes. Striger Larsen on for Vass, Poulsen off, and Kasper Dolberg on of Nice, as Striger Larsen tries to play the ball down the line on the right-hand side, but it's cleared away by the Russian defence on that left, as Pierre-Emil Højbjerg, of course, in that bandage with blood, very much sort of an image of sort of to take away from in Danish football. So very much like Terry Butcher all those years ago when he was wearing the England shirt, when, of course, his T-shirt was absolutely blazed in red, wasn't it? From head to toe, near enough. Here is now Zamaletdinov, tries to find Zhuba, but the ball has gone beyond him on his right-hand side. Cut out by Simon Kjær. Here is now Christensen out to Striger Larsen. Good challenge by Golovin as he comes back to help his defence. Clears it into the middle. Here is now the number 23, Kuzhaev. He plays it to a Russian shirt. Was there a foul in there? Clement Turpin says no. It was in the middle of the pitch. Denmark now have it. Dolberg with the back of the Damsgaard. Great challenge by Roman Zobnin. Had to get that right. He went to ground. Damsgaard just looked like he was going to get on the end of the Dolberg flick on the edge of the box in the middle of the pitch, but he was denied and stopped in his tracks. And Denmark have got the wind in their sails. They want another one. Here's Braithwaite. Now Myler gives it to Braithwaite. He was just crowded out. Myler will have it. Taking on Zobnin, shoots. And Safonov saves at his near post. But Denmark really have got their tails between their legs and are really rattling the Russians as Christensen competes with Sobolev. But Sobolev has done well to come away with it, the Spartak man, and pushes over Thomas Delaney. But Denmark win it back. There's a hunger, there's a desire about Denmark that has probably just been added from what Kasper Hjulmand was saying. 63 minutes gone. Russia 0, Denmark 2. Don't worry, we'll be going to Russ Werner for Finland updates. Braithwaite into Dolberg. It could be 3, but it's a terrible touch by Kasper Dolberg that lets him down. And that was a big chance to make it 3-0 and make it so much more handsome for his team. And the Russian change, of course, we saw Zamaletdinov come on in place of Magomed Ozdoyev. Still unknown who Sobolev has actually gone on for in due course. I think he's actually come on in place of Maranchuk, but I will just double check on that. Here is now Dolberg. He was pulled to the ground by Kudryashov, who's already been booked, remember. He's put his arms in the air. He knew exactly what he was doing there. Clement Turpin, the referee, isn't in the slightest interested in giving a second yellow card. And Kudryashov is walking a small enough tightrope as it is. And there's a free kick with just 19 and a half minutes of the second half gone. Russia 0, Denmark 2. But the most important thing is that Finland are holding Belgium to a 0-0 result at the moment in this group. So it means that Finland stays second, Denmark go third, and hope that they'll be one of the best 4 teams from the 6 potential to get into the knockout stages. And of course, Belgium will go through as group winners. But the Telia Parken crowd has found its voice. The red and white of Denmark are jumping up and down, or the white of the Danish players tonight as it is, in their change strip. It's a free kick right on the right-hand touchline. Damsgaard, who got the first, is around this with Jens Striger Larsen. Both, of course, playing Italy with Udinese and Sampdoria, respectively. Damsgaard with a deep cross. Braithwaite attacked it. Safanov with that right punch away. And it's gone out for a throw. And I will go to Russ Vernon. We've been waiting for about 5 minutes to try and go to him. And I'll go to you quickly, Russ, because there's been a bit of action in St. Petersburg.
Yes, and just as you join me, there's been a goal in this game as well. And we'll talk about the goal in a second. But a couple of chances, first of all. Kamara had a shot blocked by Finland. And then down at the other end, Eden Hazard forced an effort, was through on goal and forced a save out of Rajecki. And then Belgium have just taken the lead. As you came to me, Matt, it was a goal from Romelu Lukaku, 65 minutes on the clock. Kevin De Bruyne played him in, and Romelu Lukaku slots him with ease. They're appealing for offside, so they could be disallowing this one. The goal, as it at the moment, stands, and the goal will count. I think they're all looking at going to go to VAR. It is tight, and if he is offside, it'll be by a toenail if it is offside. But I think the goal will stand, and they are just checking this now, Matt. We've just want to see me. We are just checking this goal for Belgium. So if you just stay with me for a second, man, we'll go back to you in a second. I'm just waiting for the goal news coming through. If the goal will be standing, I'll let you know in a second. They're just checking VAR. So I'll go back to Matt for now, but then once it is confirmed, I'll let you know. I'll come back to me, Matt, and I'll let you know in time once the O's made their decision. But it looks like Belgium are leading by a goal to 0, Matt.
So, of course, it's still a big decision to make, but Russia on the attack here. It's played into the path of the number 4, which is Karavayev, and there's a penalty been given in the favour of Russia. Clement Turpin spotted a push in the box. It was a quick break by the Russians from the left-hand side. Denmark ripped open through the middle. They tried to close it down as quickly as they could, but the referee from France, Clement Turpin, has spotted a push in there, and Russia have got a penalty, and it's going to be Artem Zhuba who's going to take it. Well, Karavayev made the run. He plays it into Sobolev, who goes down. Vestergaard had his arms around Sobolev, and there is certainly hands into the back of Sobolev. It was centre. He's around about sort of 8 yards out when the push takes place. I think he just threw himself down to the ground a little bit, but there's certainly hands on it. I'm not actually sure if that's a penalty in my eyes. I must admit that. And in the process, Russia made 2 subs. Fyodor Kudryashov, but remember, replaced by Vyacheslav Karavayev, and Daler Kuzhayev was replaced by Maxim Mukin of Rubin Kazan. And obviously, as I said, there was a change when Moranchuk was replaced for Rifat Zamalyetdinov as confirmation of that. But Russia, who've barely laid a chance on Kasper Schmeichel's goal, now have the chance to get back in it here with Artem Zhuba, as he looks to score a big goal for his nation. He scored big penalties before. Remember the World Cup 3 years ago against Spain? Can he do it here with 21 minutes to play? Clement Turpin blows his whistle. The Danish fans behind the goal try and put him off. Zhuba stays cool and scores down the middle. Schmeichel died to his left. Russia back in it, and Artem Zhuba scores. He is so important to this Russian side, and he steps up to the plate and delivers a vital goal that gives Russia some hope of clawing this back in their favour and clawing back their hopes of 3rd place and potentially knockout football beyond the group stages at Euro 2020. Russia 1, Denmark 2, and Russ, has that Belgium goal been given after the VAR check?
No, it's been given as offside, Matt. He's still goalless, and I've just seen a replay of what VAR gave for, and it was just the foot of Romelu Lukaku was just beyond the last defender as he received the ball. We have played 69 minutes gone, and it is still Finland 0, Belgium 0, Matt.
So a bit of a big moment in that game nonetheless. So as it stands, it's Belgium 7, Russia will be bottom of the table on a point. Second will be Finland on 4, and Denmark will be on 3. But of course, Russia will be on 3 points themselves, but Denmark will have a better goal difference than their opponents tonight, with it staying as it is. We are 19 and a half minutes of the game remaining. It is Russia 1, Denmark 2. Denmark, of course, took the lead thanks to a wonder goal from Mikkel Damsgaard, his third in Danish colours. And they went 2-0 up with Josef Poulsen, scoring courtesy of a horrendous back pass by Roman Zobnin. And then Russia scored from the penalty spot just around about 2 minutes ago when Artem Zhuba scored to give them some sort of hope and some salvation that they can get back into this one at the Telia Parken, which is, of course, going in Denmark's favour. But with Finland drawing, it means that Markku Kanerva's side will join Belgium automatically into the knockout stages. And, of course, it will mean that Denmark have to nervously wait to find out if they've gone through. Here's Kadavayev, who's made a massive impact since he came on. He set the chance up for Sobolev to get the shot on goal and ultimately win the penalty. Kadavayev with the ball in from the left-hand side, and then Delaney's cleared it away. And that's that fresh pace, that fresh bit of injection that Russia needed. Of course, Kudryashov's not really able to get up and down the pitch. He is more a centre-back by trade. So Mikkel Damsgaard, who's certainly left a mark on this game, is to be substituted with 72 minutes gone. And Christian Norgard of Brentford's going to come on. He suffered his injury problems this season. Of course, missed the playoff final, but was actually named as a substitute because of his important contributions over the season by his manager, Thomas Frank. Will be in the Premier League next season. And of course, Norgard is on. Kadavayev will take the throw down the left-hand side. Looking for options ahead of him. Forward, does throw it high forward, looking for Sobolev, but it's cut up by Christensen, who gets there first. Kadavayev crosses in on his right foot. It's a weak cross on his weaker foot, admittedly, and it's gone off a Danish player, and now they come out away with it. It's gone out to Braithwaite on the left-hand side. He's drifting with the ball forward. Myler's on the outside of him. He's made the run forward. That's a lovely ball slipped through to him. He's got Striker Larsen alongside him, but as Myler just delayed playing the pass, there was a Russian foot to get in. I think it was Igor Diveyev who's made it go out for a corner kick and down this left-hand side. It's a game you're listening to on the Commentary Hub, the home of alternative commentary. Of course, we'll be covering England's game tomorrow on Hot Mic with myself and Justin Hoyt on the commentary for that. With kick-off at 8. And, of course, we'll be keeping a close eye on what happens at Hampden Park as Scotland take on Croatia. As England, of course, will be hoping to bounce back with a win to secure top spot in Group D. And of course, just as this corner is about to be taken, there's 5 Danish players on the last line of where Safonov would stand on his goal line. Of course, it's got Zhikia and it's got Mukin in front of it. It's got 2 Russia players there, so they're trying to just block the keeper's sight and not allow him any room. But it's got to be a good delivery by Striker Larsen nonetheless. It is not a bad ball. Safonov with just about an arm in there. There's a bit of a scramble. And then Turpan's watching it. It's come to Christensen. And the Russians just about do enough to just get a body in front of it. I'm not too sure who it was. Quite frankly, I don't think Stanislav Cherchesov, the Russia boss, will care one bit who got in the way of that. It was just a case of just not allowing the goal to go in and to make Denmark have their 2-goal cushion back. But it came in. Safonov had Simon Kjær right in front of him, and it actually goes off the head of Kjær. Then he tries to punch it clear. It's gone off a Russian head thing. Kjær has a little back heel at it, but the Russia players were just back in time to deal with it. 15 minutes to go. Russia 1, Denmark 2. And it's been a real interesting second half. Denmark have been dominant, but of course that goal has just given Russia that real bit of hope. Of course, it came into the fact tonight that Denmark knew that if they weren't to win, they'd have no chance of standing any chance of the knockout stages. Braithwaite is fouled as he was pulled on there by the Russia centre-back, Igor Diveyev, who shakes his head. He could have no complaints, and that's a yellow card. Well, just that ball into the middle, and then he just tries, Højbjerg, who's had a really good game tonight, just plays it through to Braithwaite, and Diveyev is a real sneaky foul. He's even got his arms on him before Højbjerg has even played the ball. And Stanislav Cherchesov was really unhappy about giving a free kick away there. It is about 25 yards out. It is rather central, so this does favour the ball being whipped in. Striga Larsson has been heavily involved in the discussions with Pierre-Emil Højbjerg on this free kick. I think they might actually try and go for goal here, as this is a big moment in the game. Safonov's got to make sure he's got his wall right. They've got pretty much every outfielder back. It is going to be Højbjerg to drill it, but Safonov saves. Yeah, carries all the way through. He's got a lot of power behind it. Really just sort of puts his body across it. And he's just sort of straight at Matvei Safonov. Dobnin goes down under the foul from Thomas Delaney. And it's a Russia free kick. Of course, we did see Fyodor Kudryashov get subbed off for a bit of protection from his manager, Stanislav Cherchesov. Wonder if that would happen with Thomas Delaney as he made another foul there. Ball goes into the left-hand side of the box. Zhuba heads it to the edge of the box. It's come to Zobnin, blocked by Delaney, and then smashed clear by the Danish team, and in particular Christian Nørgaard. Braithwaite goes down again under the challenge from Igor Diveev, and it's the same two players involved there. And there's been a goal, as I understand, in the Krestovsky Stadium. And it's a big, big goal in terms of the way this group looks, as Belgium have just taken the lead, haven't they, Russ?
They have, Matt, yes. And it's gone down as an own goal from the goalkeeper, Lukas Rajecki, of Finland. The corner came in from the left. He hit the header from Thomas Vermaelen. It came back down off of the bar, and he went into the back of the net, off the back of Rajecki in the Finland goal. 76 minutes on the clock, and it's Finland 0, Belgium 1.
Well, they've just heard the news. Some of those Denmark fans checking their phones, checking the internet, checking whatever, social media. There as it stands, in second place, Denmark. Finland have dropped to fourth, and it now means that Russia have gone into third place. So they stand a great chance of reaching potentially the knockout stages themselves. But Denmark won't have to worry about that third place berth. In it goes by Striga Larsson, then headed behind by Diveev for a corner kick. Well watched by the CSKA Moscow centre-back. It was whipped in well to the back post. Had he not been there, Braithwaite would have had a chance on goal, and I think he knows it, the Barcelona man. Really well watched and turned behind for a corner by Igor Diveev. So it's a corner on the left-hand side. As it stands, Belgium going through with a 100% record on 9 points. Denmark on 3. And then, of course, due to the fact that they have scored more goals, they will go through. Russia will be third. Finland will be last in the group on their major tournament bow. It's going to be Striga Larsson to take up this corner on the right-hand side. In it goes, attack by Christensen. Safonov dives down low to his right. It's a big hand as well. The attack is certainly not over by any means, but Myler's cross is now blocked by Zhuba, and Christensen thought he'd had it. As they've taken the throw in quickly, they want to make this secure as much as they can. Delaney with the cross, Braithwaite with the header. Saved by Safonov again. He's only parried the Striga Larsson. And Simon Kjær was attacking it. And then it's hit by Christensen. What a goal that is. Denmark have gone 3-1 up. And they're on their way surely now to the knockout stages. They had two bites of the cherry. But the third one was not to be saved by Matvei Safonov. And Andreas Christensen has hit an absolute thunderbolt. Russia 1, Denmark 3. The subs, the coaching staff are on the pitch. Denmark are on their way as it stands to the knockout stages, much to the delight of the Telia Parken crowd. The majority of them wearing the red and white of Denmark. Russia 1, Denmark 3. Well, it was a really good chance. Braithwaite had a header that was saved. Striga Larsson put it back into Kjær. He should have scored, but it comes to Christensen. Bang, what a strike. He's absolutely leathered it, the Chelsea man. No chance for Safonov. It's just gone for a crowd of bodies into the back of the net. And Denmark are 3-1 up. And on a big, big night where they've had to deliver, they are doing it for those fans. And more importantly, they're doing it for Christian Eriksen. A man, of course, who was so close to death in this very same stadium 9 days ago. He's very much in there in spirit, if you like, watching at home, resting up as his teammates are delivering when they really need him to most. And that goal has now put Russia back at the bottom of the group because they've now gone to -4. Finland have gone back up to third. So any goal that any side sort of concedes now has got massive bearing on what goes on. So hold on, everybody, for the final sort of 9.5 minutes of this one left in Copenhagen, and whatever's left at the Krestovsky Stadium, we are going to be in for a rough ride as Russia have got a free kick here with Alexander Golovin, who's going to take it, floats it in, Vestergaard away, good header away as well. Now to Braithwaite, as he just goes in, does he, and foul on Mukin. Referee says no. Now it's with Denmark again. Here is now Myler. On the edge of the box, Myler shoots, it's 4-1! Oh, it just gets better for the Danes! Joachim Myler scores! They broke away after a poor free kick by Russia. And they really are delivering on their big, big night. And the entertainment value is certainly at the Telia Parken Stadium, as their fans have been given one hell of a treat in which they lost their first 2 games in prior to tonight. Russia 1, Denmark 4. Well, it just comes here too. Joachim Myler, he could have played it to Højbjerg, who was on the outside of him, on his left, but he just decided to go on his own. And it was a really good strike right into the corner of Safonov's goal. He's got no chance of saving it. It's Denmark 4, Russia 1, and Denmark have just really now sealed this game emphatically with 2 very different goals, but 2 big goals. And of course, under the circumstances, both just as significant as the other. Well, there is absolute mass jubilation. Joachim Myler on the score sheet, the Atalanta man, playing at left wing back tonight, does what he's in the team to do, push forward, help the attack, and has delivered to make it 4-1 to Denmark. They've scored 2 in a matter of a couple of minutes, and it really is now looking doom and gloom for Stanislav Cherchesov and Russia, quarter-finalists at their own World Cup 3 years ago. It's very much going against them now as Denmark really are on their way. And there's another goal in St. Petersburg. Is it an equaliser for Finland, or a Belgium secured 3 wins out of 3?
Well, I can tell you, Matt, Belgium have secured look like they're going to be securing 3 wins out of 3, and it's that man who had a goal disallowed, Romelu Lukaku, who finished off nicely. Another fantastic piece of play from Romelu Lukaku, who finished off after a fantastic ball from Kevin De Bruyne. We have played coming up towards 82.5 minutes, just gone over 82.5 minutes. It is currently Finland 0, Belgium 2. Belgium are going through with 3 wins out of 3.
Just like the Italians and just like the Dutch did earlier on today, winning in Group C. Austria joined them into the knockout stages. Ukraine were third and are sitting nervously, finding out if they've gone through. Finland, as it stands, are third in this group. Denmark are second. They needed to win to stand any chance of doing it. They're not just winning, but they're doing it in style as they've got cornered down this left-hand side. Jens Striger Larsen's going to take. It's the Danish fans that are singing. Of course, what a sight that is to see fans jumping up and down in stadiums. Striger Larsen's corner is a high one in the middle and easy for Safonov to take. He was under no great danger from any white shirt in there at all, as he takes that one with a bit of a command to Safonov. He had no one really around him, and he did well to take it. Here come Russia. Ball through by Karavayev. And then the pass from Delaney has bounced off Karavayev and gone out for a Denmark throw on the left-hand side. They're going to make another change. Andreas Cornelius is going to come on in place of Martin Braithwaite. 3 games, no goals, but he's pretty unlucky not to get one. It's the Barcelona man. Of course, once on the books of Middlesbrough, he's going to come off for the final sort of 5 minutes. Is Andreas Cornelius is going to come on, who once played 11 games for Cardiff and didn't score a single goal in his time in Wales. And Thomas Delaney, what a shift he's put in. A real good player. He's one of those first names on the team sheet for Denmark. He's been booked, so manager Kasper Hjulmand's going to protect him for the final few minutes. And we're going to see Mathias Jensen of Brentford come on to play alongside his club teammate Christian Nørgaard in the middle. But it's Denmark 4, Russia 1. Denmark's goal scorers in this order: Damsgaard, Poulsen, Christensen and Møller. Denmark were 2-0 up with Damsgaard and Poulsen scoring. They were 2 up after an hour. Then Juba scored a penalty with around about 70 minutes on the clock. He scored. It was a controversial one after Sobolev was fouled by Vestergaard. But then Christensen scored from about 20 yards, an absolute corker, in which it was an absolute pile driver beyond Matvei Safonov. And then Joachim Møller just a few minutes later scored to make it Denmark 4, Russia 1. And as it stands, they're heading through into second place. And of course, with that going into second place, they're on their way to be facing Wales in Amsterdam on Saturday in the Dutch capital. And of course, should Finland be one of the 4 sides that progress out of the 6 who finished 3rd, they will be potentially playing the winner in Group F, which is either France, Germany, Portugal or Hungary in Bucharest, or the winner in Group E in Glasgow. Of course, in that group is Spain, Poland, Slovakia and Sweden. Denmark have a throw-in down the Russian right-hand side. Joachim Møller, the man who scored the 4th goal, throws it into the middle to the number 15, Christian Nørgaard. He does go down despite a Russian challenge and then does give it to Kasper Dolberg, who's been fouled by Maxim Mukin. And Clément Tepin spots that and gives a free kick. Yeah, Fernandez went in from behind with him. He fouled him and then it was Mukin who just came in from the side on. Both sort of just tried to sandwich him in and commit the foul, and that's exactly what they did. Belgium 2-0 up against Finland in St. Petersburg. They're going through 3 wins from 3. And then, of course, Denmark are going to go through on 3 points ahead of Finland and Russia, both on the same amount of points, but have a better goal difference. As of course, they've got a free kick here from the right-hand side. It's going to be Jensen and Striger Larsen who are both over there. Striger Larsen dummies it for Jensen to take. Goes to the back post on the right-hand side. Took under control by Cornelis, the big man. Shifts it to the left-hand side of the penalty area. Møller under control. Taken on the number 19, Rifat Zemalyetdinov. But he's run it out of play and ran out of room. And it's gone out for a goal kick as Matvei Safonov wants to take it quickly in. They've given it straight back to Denmark. Here is now the cross that comes in, and it was rushed by Nørgaard. He looked for Cornelius, but Matvei Safonov comes out and takes it with ease. He rolls it out to Artem Zhuba, who of course has now gone level with Alexander Kershakov in being Russia's joint all-time top goal scorer for the national side since independence. Christensen. Simon Kjær, and it just goes to show what the beauty of having fans is in stadiums, isn't it? Denmark have been roared on by their fans, around about sort of 23,000 capacity inside this stadium. Of course, there are a small section of Russian fans that have made the journey, but it's the red and white of Denmark as opposed to the red and white of Russia that is jumping up and down and singing as Russia are going home as it stands, and Denmark are heading through, just like many thought it would be in this group, with Belgium and Denmark 1 and 2, but not as close, with Finland and, of course, Russia really trying to make it a spectacle prior to tonight's game. Here is now Jensen on the corner of the left-hand box. Deveev has come out to just try and close him down. Slides it through to Møller. Cross goes in. Shikia away. Headed back in by Jensen, but he heads it only out of play for a goal kick as we're into the finals. 40 seconds of normal time, and I'll just head over to Russ for another update. Belgium looking like they're just going to try and get a third, or they're just trying to hold on for a second. And more importantly, just trying to rest some players up for their round of 16 clash, which is to come in the next few days. Denmark have it in there anyway, and I'll go to Russ in just a minute. There seems to be maybe a delay of some sort, or just some sort of connection issue. So I'll just try and get back to him very, very shortly as the attackers just fizzled out in the end for Denmark as Jensen has fouled the number 17, Alexander Golovin. So it's perfect timing for you, Russ, too. Just give us a little update on Belgium and whether or not they've just pretty much settled on this 2-0 win that they've got.
I don't think they have settled on this, Matt, to be honest, because they could have had third, should I say, when Hazard had a shot which went wide of target he should have played in. Christian Benteke came on to replace Romelu Lukaku that's there. Only Batshuayi came on for Doku as well, no long after the first goal, along with Mounier for Trossard. So they are resting a few players, fetching a few players on to give them a few minutes. Lukaku went off after he grabbed his first goal on the 81st minute. He was replaced by Christian Benteke. But Belgium are trying to go for more goals. Coming up towards the end of the second half, about to go into injury time, but it's still 2-0 Belgium lead.
2-0 Belgium lead. They're heading through top of the table on 9 points, 3 wins out of 3. Denmark joining them in second. We are around about sort of 75 seconds into additional time of 3 added on. Denmark 4, Russia 1. It's a high ball into Cornelius. Holds off Zhikia, and then the touch has gone off. The number 4, Vyacheslav Karavayev, and it's gone for a corner as there's high fives for Kasper Hjulmand as he gives it to Yusuf Poulsen and Thomas Delaney. Matthias Jorgensen as well, and Jonas Lørsel, 2 ex-Huddersfield players, both on the receiving end of high fives, as there's a big grin amongst Kasper Hjulmand in his first major tournament as Denmark coach. He's going to lead them into the knockout stages, just like his predecessor Age Hareide did in 2018, when, of course, they lost on penalties in the first knockout stage of the World Cup to Croatia. Jensen will take the corner from the right-hand side, floats it in. Kjaer's gone to the back post to try and head it across goal. Away by Diveyev. Now is Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. He's been absolutely superb. He gets away from Diveyev. Can't challenge. He's on a booking. Drills it into Shu. Shikia in the way of the shot. Safonov went down to try and save, but he had a Russian player in front of him to divert it out for a corner. Yeah, it's going to have to play for a corner, and Shikia just gets in front of it, just clears it out. Denmark in the mood for more. They really want to just give a treat for their fans. Well, it could be, and probably will be, the last time they'll play in front of their fans in this tournament. And what an ending they've got, those supporters. They might play there again in the knockout stages, who knows? But for the moment, if it is going to be the last time, it was certainly something that they will hold. Jensen with the corner in, this time a different type of delivery. He's gone with pace, gone with height to the back post. And then it's headed out and out for a throw-in, which won't be taken. Denmark are through to the European Championships round of 16, and they've done it emphatically at the expense of Russia, who head out. Mixed moods and contrasting moods in Copenhagen tonight, the Danish capital. Denmark knew that if they stood any chance of progressing, they had to win, and they've done exactly that in front of an absolutely joyous and buoyant Danish crowd, which is an absolute fever pitch. Right now, the Russians crestfallen. They're going home in the group stages. 4th place, just like they were back in 2016 in France. The goal scorers for Denmark, Mikkel Damsgaard scored with around about 7 minutes of the first half to play with that wonderful curling effort centrally, about 20 yards out. Then Yusuf Poulsen scored to make it 2-0 just before the hour mark. Russia threatened a comeback with Artem Zhuba scoring with 20 minutes to go. But then Andreas Christensen with an absolute pile driver from 20 yards saw his shot first time, beat the goalkeeper, Matvey Safonov, to make it 3-1. And then it was wrapped up through Joachim Mæhle just 3 minutes later as Denmark scored 4 against Russia. There's a big huddle on the pitches. Joachim Mæhle's leading the celebrations with Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. There's a real huddle going on as the Danish players are putting arms around one another. It's a real special moment for them. And of course, Christian Eriksen, I think no doubt, will be on their minds and on their FaceTime, if you like, of course, as he's still in his hospital bed and still in recovery at home. It does feel like there's some technical difficulties there, so it's just maybe just deflated the mood just a little bit. But of course, they've been so through much already in this tournament, haven't they, with him collapsing and suffering that cardiac arrest. They're actually just still waiting to find out if they've got second place. They don't know. They're checking actually SofaScore as the camera pans in on one of the Danish staff officials' phones, but there is now that confirmation that they've come through. It's reached the stadium, it's reached the fans, it's reached the players. You'd almost think they'd won the trophy. It's matching those celebrations of 1992 when they won in Gothenburg, but they're through to the knockout stages and they know who their opponents will be. They will be playing Wales in Amsterdam on Saturday, June the 26th. What a night for Denmark. What a night for their country's football. And what a night it is for Belgium. Of course, they've completed a 2-0 win against Finland. It's full time at the Telia Parken, and you can tell on the Danish faces just how ecstatic they are. They're through full time. Russia 1, Denmark 4. Denmark takes second place. Finland take third. Russia become the third side in the European Championships to pack their bags and go home as they finish last place in Group B. Thoroughly great performance from Denmark, fully deserving of the win and fully deserving of their place in the knockout stages, Russ.
Yes, thank you very much, Matt, for excellent commentary. Also, that result also means with Denmark winning 4-1 against Russia and Belgium beating Finland 2-0, that result means England have also secured a knockout place without kicking a ball tonight. Before the game tomorrow, whether we finish in England finishing the top 2 or finishing third, England have secured a knockout place for the round of 16. So that result also boosts England's chances as well. They're already through to the knockout stages. England are guaranteed a place in the Euro 2020 knockout stages for full time. In this game, which I was watching, is finished 2-0 to Belgium, and Belgium deserved the win. I'll just confirm the places in Group B for you, which sees Belgium top on 9 points, Denmark second on 3, Finland third on 3, Russia on a bottom with 3. Russia, as Matt says, are going home. And just to tell you what that means for the 4 best placed third teams, so just to tell you about that in a second, because I can tell you all about that. So I'll be able to tell you all about that after confirming the tables for you, which I have just done in Group B. So at the moment, the 4 best placed teams that are going through is Switzerland, Portugal, Ukraine, Finland, Spain, Croatia heading out as things stand. But England, whatever they do tomorrow, if they win or lose or even draw, they've secured a knockout place for the last 16. And what an achievement it is for Gareth Southgate's England, who have only scored 1 goal so far. Going forward, I can tell you the England going forward, then I'll go back to the games that we covered in a moment. But England, as I mentioned, have secured a knockout place. And Matt, before we get your man of the match in the game you have covered this evening, what an achievement it is for Gareth Southgate's side and England to secure a knockout place without even kicking a ball this evening.
Yeah, it's a good achievement, isn't it? I mean, obviously, they've done it without kicking a ball, which I think is obviously something that is quite nice to think about. And of course, the motivation will still be there. Of course, they want to finish top of the group against Czech Republic, no doubt. I mean, it's a good achievement. It's expected, isn't it? Of course, England have to qualify at the group stages pretty much out of every major tournament. It's what they do now, going into the knockout stages. This is a game to really tomorrow, just doing a little preview on it, as I'm just trying to sort of say now, but just briefly, this is a really important game tomorrow because it's going to give, hopefully, the players massive confidence, and it's going to give the fans belief that maybe might have been lost after the disappointment of Scotland on Friday, just to think, do you know what, that there is a team here, and that was just maybe just a little blip. But yeah, really good. It's a decent achievement, but it's the expected from England. So let's not get too carried away, because we did expect that just before a ball was kicked in the tournament.
Yes, we did, Matt. And Matt, just going on to your game at the moment, fantastic performance and a fantastic result, as you said, for Denmark. And as we mentioned at the top of the programme, we did say they probably want to do it for Christian Eriksen again to the knockout stages. They have done that, Matt. But Matt, the important question I'm about to ask you now, like I do after every commentary you do, you know what question it is, my friend.
Yeah. So, need to say it. You don't need to say it, Russ.
Let me know your choice, please.
I'm going to give man of the match to Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. I think the way he was tonight was superb. He played a different role for Denmark tonight. He played higher up the pitch. He almost played as a number 8, and he was pressing high. The Russians in the second half just couldn't live with him. They almost effectively, Denmark at times played with a front 5, because they had Mæhle pushing up as a left midfielder. They had Højbjerg as a number 10, and he just set the chance up for Mæhle absolutely superbly. He ran himself into the ground. Special mentions do go to Damsgaard for that wonderful goal. Christensen for that even better goal. I mean, it's very unheard of, and certainly not on this tournament tonight. You can say you've seen 2 games with absolutely 2 wonderful goals in, but for me, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg was man of the match, and I thought he fully deserved it tonight. And to be fair, I think that this is probably the best result of the tournament, isn't it, for everybody? Because it's just pure happiness. They've had so much, sympathy towards their country and their team because of what happened with Eriksen, and it's just vindication. It's a win just for Denmark, and I think that they're really capturing people's spirits in their hearts, aren't they? And they're that team at the moment where everyone just really wants them to do well, aren't they? And yeah, it's a real special night for Kasper Hjulmand and the Danish public to get through tonight, and what has been a real sort of tough 10 days for them.
Yes, absolutely, Matt. I'm just seeing the highlights from the game which you covered. That obviously, because I didn't see that myself covering the other game. And for me, just going back to the penalty, was very silly to give away the penalty. But on first viewing, till I saw the replay, I didn't think it was a penalty. But I must say the referee got it spot on, having seen the replay. But I'm just looking at some of the chances that Denmark had. They could have had more than 4 today.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously, you spoke about just 2 things in now. I mean, I still believe it's not a penalty. I think, obviously, yes, there is an arm that sort of goes across Sobolev from Vestergaard, but, there's not enough contact for me. I think Sobolev knows what he's doing. He's conned the referee into giving it. And obviously, Clement Turpin, the referee, who's, sort of known to be given some sort of quite crazy decisions, did give one there. It gave Russia the belief to get back in the game. But yes, Denmark could have had more. But obviously, what the most important thing is the win and the man of the performance. And that was just hand in hand tonight. They still scored 4 goals. And so, yeah, it was a fantastic performance from Denmark tonight.
Yes, and I've just seen the 4th goal now. And that, for me, other than the Damsgaard one, I think that's after the 4 goals which Denmark scored. Like, Damsgaard is going to be my favourite, but the 4th goal, for me, is my second favourite out of the 4 goals Denmark scored tonight. Obviously, you'll probably agree with me that Mikkel Damsgaard is probably your favourite one. But
I'd have to disagree with you, Russ, because obviously you're not taking into account what Andreas Christensen did. I mean, for a defender to come onto that ball and to strike it like that, he's just arrowed it in. You could not have directed a missile to go into the goal as pinpoint and as perfect as that. I mean, both are just as good as each other, and obviously they're both in a league of their own. Damsgaard's goal and Christensen's goal. But if you had to choose it, Christensen's for me, because it's just the way he's just come onto it. It's out of nothing, just a real bolt from the blue. But that is just a special goal in itself. But I'm not trying to take away the importance of Damsgaard's goal, because it just really sort of lit the touch paper for the whole night for Denmark. And what a special night it was. And it's going to be a night that not just this football team remembers or its supporters, but the whole country remembers. And Yeah, I think Christensen to me was my favourite goal. But yeah, take nothing away. That fourth goal was special as well because it's a quick fashion counter-attack, isn't it? You know, Russia trying to get back in the game. It's that head away from Vestergaard. Højbjerg does so well just to drive the ball forward. He waits for the support, gets it from Myler. He just looks up, sees that the keeper's left a bit too much to his right and just puts it right in the corner. Brilliant goal nonetheless. I thought all four of them, actually, to be fair, were, well, apart from Paulson's, were pretty special themselves. So, yeah, I think 3 out of the 4 could have a strong case to be good goals, I think, Russ.
Yes, absolutely, man. But just to recap on the scores in Group B, Russia 1, Denmark 4, and Finland 0, Belgium 2. Matt, once again, I just want to say a very big thank you and wonderful commentary once again, my friend. You produced magnificent quality, top-notch commentary every game you do. And also, Matt, for me, don't know what you think. I don't know what the listeners think as well, but for me, every commentary you do, you just get better and better and better with each one, my friend.
Well, it does certainly feel like that, Russ, but I don't want to toot my own horn that much, but I do honestly really appreciate the feedback. So, yeah, massively appreciate it. And thank you. Thank you very much, mate. As it is for everybody else. I mean, I've heard yourself, I've heard Mike, I've heard John, and I've obviously heard Nicholas. They've obviously been the 4 others that have done games as much as myself. And obviously, you know, it's been a real sort of breath of fresh air just to hear different voices, isn't it, for these different games. And just a mention to yourself as well. You've been very busy, hands-on, doing producing, presenting, commentary, co-commentary. You've done the lot, mate. So if I deserve a bit of a round of applause, I think you deserve a little bit more than me, my friend.
Thank you very much, Matt. I'm having a day off tomorrow, but my work does not stop there. I've got on Wednesday, I'm covering one of the 5 o'clock games on Wednesday night, and then I'll be back presenting and producing the games in Wednesday evening in Group F, where we'll be rounding up those 2 groups, Group E and Group F. Tomorrow, Group D will be a crossover on mic as well as on the channel as well for commentary between both England's final group game against the Czech Republic, where they'll provide updates for the Croatia-Scotland game as well. There'll be updates on those as well. Will be from Matt as well. He'll keep you across the England game on the commentary alongside the very talented and brilliant Justin Knighton. Now, just before we finish, what a signing Justin Knight has been for the channel as well. And he confirmed to me after his very first match that he did on the channel, which was back on the 12th of June, which was the game between Wales and Switzerland, that if he can, he'll be delighted to join the team on coverage of some Premier League action next season.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, a special mention to him. I mean, if Justin's listening, then obviously even better for him. But if he's not, I mean, obviously I'll try or someone will try and send it over to him nonetheless. But no, he's been fantastic. I mean, obviously, you know, to get an ex-player, to get the insight from sort of just how it is on the pitch, I think is brilliant. And obviously, you know, for him to do it, it's a massive favour for us. And obviously, you know, it really just sort of adds a different dimension to our coverage, just having a co-commentator there. And yeah, he's been fantastic. I worked with him obviously on Thursday for the Netherlands and Austria game. And yeah, he was really, really good then. And you know, I'm looking forward to being alongside him tomorrow for England against Czech Republic.
Yes, and that will be his second England match that he has done on the channel since he joined at the beginning of the tournament. He covered England against Scotland alongside Mike as well, and that was just. And if you've not heard that one yet, Matt, he was brilliant on that one as well. I spoke to him at half time and at full time, and even before the game as well, and he was just absolutely brilliant on there as well. So we'll keep you. So hopefully we'll get him on for a few more of the matches as well towards in the knockout stages. You'll next hear Matt. Obviously, you'll hear him tomorrow on Czech Republic against England, but after that, you'll hear him on again between Portugal and France. We'll have a commentary or updates on that game for us. But then he'll be back doing the commentary on Sunday for the quarter-final match number for the round of 16 match number 4 at 8 o'clock between winner of Group B, which is Belgium, Matt, against third in either A, D, E, or F. So you'll have to wait and see who Belgium get, but you, from what you've seen of Belgium so far, you're looking forward to covering them on Sunday evening at 8 o'clock for the channel.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously, not just this tournament. I mean, obviously, they have played very, very well. They've been largely dominant, you could say, for 2.5 games. I mean, that first half against Denmark was one where they probably didn't play their best, but they still recovered and managed to win. I mean, obviously, they've been really impressive over the last sort of few years in qualifying. They've got tremendous talents, Lukaku, Yuri Tielemans, Torgan Hazard, De Bruyne, the talent just speaks for itself. So it'll be very interesting to see how they fare when they, of course, take to the field on Sunday evening against either, as you said, the third place side in A, D, E, or F. But very interesting to see who they potentially will come up against. So certainly one of the sides that already knows their fate, don't they, in Switzerland? So it might be one of them. But I think whoever they do face, their opponents, whoever the opponents are that face Belgium, I think they've got to be a little bit concerned because Belgium do look like as strong as ever to try and go all the way and win this tournament for me.
Yes, indeed, Matt, and we have got one of the matches confirmed already for you for one of the knockout matches, which we will be bringing to you on the channel, and that is on Saturday at 5 o'clock, where it's Wales and they are taking on Denmark. And you've seen Denmark tonight, Matt. You saw Wales against Italy as well, but you probably watched other games against them as well, but that Wales have been involved in as well. But how tough a game will that game for Wales be against Denmark?
Well, very tough. I mean, obviously, Denmark have, shown over the last sort of year under Kasper Hjulmand how good they can be going forward, the amount of attacking quality they've got. Tonight, they've really just put the sword to the Russians, and obviously they really struggled in the end to contain them and deal with them and shut them out. I mean, obviously, they look good on the break. I think, they've got a real good, nice blend. I did say before the tournament, they were my dark horses for me. And obviously, I still stand by that. I mean, luckily, they've gone through, so it doesn't look as bad a prediction as what it was after the first 2 games. But obviously, Denmark are just buoyed now by the fact what's happened to them with Christian Eriksen. They've won tonight. Yes, they don't have the crowd to an extent. Of course, there will be some Danish fans travelling over, as there will be for Wales. Travelling to Amsterdam. So, yeah, it'll be a good game. Wales predominantly a side who like to go on the counter-attack, be very hard to play against. Denmark like to play free-flowing, attacking football. It's just a case of which style comes out on top for me. So, yeah, really looking forward to that game on Saturday evening.
Yeah, that is the case, Matt. That is the case. Who comes out on top on Saturday evening? Another game which has been confirmed in the round of 16 is Italy, who won a Group A, and they're taking on third in Group C, which is obviously Austria, and with Italy scoring 7 goals so far in the tournament, that's going to be a tough ask for Austria to beat them, isn't it, Matt, on Saturday evening?
Well, absolutely. I mean, obviously, for me, the Italians have been the best side in the tournament so far. I mean, obviously, they're still counting on the good form that they took into the tournament with them. 11 clean sheets in a row, 30 matches unbeaten. It does feel like that they're going to get past Austria quite comfortably. But football does throw up surprises. I mean, obviously, I'm not the best at predicting. I did actually think that Russia would make life very hard for Denmark tonight. Look how that turned out. So, obviously, don't probably believe a word that I do say. But obviously, I think I saw Austria against Holland and, tactically, Franco Foda did get that wrong. He did get it right today to an extent. But, of course, against Italy, they always look like they're going to score. They look threatening. They look bright. They look really energetic and really comfortable in terms of how they play and the way that Mancini wants them to set up. So, obviously, Austria have got to, first and foremost, just do everything they can to stop Italy before they can be good just as themselves.
Yes, and that's all we've got time for tonight. But before I do finally wrap up, Matt, prediction for England match tomorrow. Can England win tomorrow and top the group, or do you reckon England will come second in their group tomorrow?
You really like to hang me out to try, don't you, Russ? I did say I'm not good at predictions, so I'm probably going to get this one monumentally wrong. But I could see it being a real tight affair. I think people, especially in the England camp, Gareth Southgate, are going to take Czech Republic not to be lighter than what they would before. I mean, obviously 4 points in the 2 games, and they have done well in those 2 games at Hampden Park. Of course, they've beaten England over the last sort of 2 years as well, and of course they beat them in Prague to win 2-1 in that Euro qualifier. So Jaroslav Šilhavý's side won't be an easy test. They'll be difficult to play. They're set up well. They've got one of the top scorers in the tournament in Patrick Schick. Lukaku and Ronaldo as well have got 3, so he's going to be a threat. They've got some decent players. They're an all-round sort of hard-working side. So I think they could be frustrating England again. But, England we haven't seen the best of yet. We still need to see it. So I'm going to expect a tight affair. I'm going to go with 2-1 to England tomorrow. But, of course, I'm going to say it again. I wouldn't be surprised if Czech Republic did come here and get a 1-1 draw. And, more importantly, just, go through and be sort of joint group winners, but effectively go through and be the winners in the group, because obviously they've got a better goal difference than England going into the game, haven't they? So if they get a draw, they're top. And then, of course, they get to play second in Group F.
Yes, that is correct, Matt. So I'm going to let you go now, Matt. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. Thank you to everyone who's listened on the commentary hub as well, from all of us here. Good night.